Hey guys, see. All right. Hey guys, welcome to Podcast Fandom Premium. I'm your host Nina,
I'm Donald.
And I'm John.
and we are back finally. Is this the first? This isn't the first podcast of the new year, is it?
Yeah, it is.
I don't know what y'all been
Wow.
doing, but I'm the first one. It's the first one for me, at least.
No, 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 no. We've done something without John. I feel like.
Did?
I think so. But
No,
anyway,
we did. We did do one around the holidays, but I don't know if we did it in the New Year or around Christmas. I thought we did one.
anyway, we're rusty because it's been a minute, but we are here to talk about WandaVision, season 1, episodes 1 and 2. It dropped on Disney Plus last week, Wednesday or Thursday.
Fr-
What?
Friday,
Or,
wasn't it?
yeah, Friday.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was Wednesday the insurrection, or was that the
Yeah.
Wednesday before?
It was the Wednesday before. It was 2 weeks ago.
It's
Yeah.
been 2 weeks.
Yep.
It has been 2 weeks since the Great Value Insurrection. Um,
Yeah.
and
That
so,
asshole's still president.
yeah. So before we talk about WandaVision, we have got to shoot the shit because you can't have white trash. No, that's not right. Because it wasn't white trash. I'm being mean and classist. Because there were doctors and police officers and retired firefighters
Politicians.
and retired military and politicians, teachers, health therapists. You can't
All
have
kinds of white people.
all kinds of white people. You can't have all kinds of white people try to overthrow your government and not talk about it. So we are going to talk about that a little bit and maybe some other stuff. Really quickly, though, let me get some show stuff out of the way since we are officially back. Kaylee and I have been watching and recording Ajin, so those are going to be coming out pretty steadily. I haven't decided. It'll probably be like one a day or maybe one every other day, depending on what other stuff we have planned like this. And why am I now forgetting? What's the other thing we're doing? You
I mean,
guys. There's something starting this month. Oh, me and Donnie are doing American Gods season 3, but there's something the three of us are doing at the end of the month. What is it?
I don't remember.
All right, whatever. So, but the point is, you guys beginning this month, beginning this week, we'll be going back to covering 3. Actually, it might end up being 4 shows. And the schedule will be cleaned up and published. And and this discussion, this shooting of the shit, will be on the free show as well. So, they fucked around and found out not enough, mind you, not enough. So there's so much to
No,
talk
they kind
about.
of didn't find out.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's just so much. Okay, so in case you hadn't heard, um 2 weeks ago, this Wednesday, it will be 2 weeks ago to the day, right? Was it Wednesday or
Mhm.
Tuesday? Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Wednesday. The members of the House and Senate met to certify our election results. The national election that we had this past November and elected Joseph R. Biden to be the next president of the United States back in early November. And since then, our current president, Donald J. Trump, has been telling anybody who will listen that the election was rigged and that he didn't lose and that there's all this fraud. He has brought forth no evidence. Several state results have been counted numerous times, and no improprieties have been found. So he is an illiterate toddler and riled up his supporters to storm our Capitol building where the certification of the election was to take place. And they proceeded to overpower, in some cases, walk right by police officers and enter into the Capitol building, where they proceeded to break things and steal things and terrorize people and piss on things and smear shit and blood on things and hunt lawmakers and hunt the vice president of the United States. They were armed. They were wearing and carrying signs of racism and symbols of known hate groups. And they eventually...
Confederate flag.
And the Confederate flag, yeah. And they eventually were able to enter, I believe, the House floor, the House chamber. And some of them, they entered several lawmakers' offices, including Nancy Pelosi's, and stole things. And it was a couple of hours before things were finally under control. Some people were arrested. One woman was shot and killed by a Capitol police officer. 3 other people died from medical emergencies on the scene at the Capitol. And since then, it's just been 2 weeks, you guys. That's just that day. By the way, everything that I just said, that was just that one day. We got 13 more days. No. And since then, we have impeached for the second time Donald J. Trump. And in 2 days, more like a day and a half, Biden will be inaugurated. He will be sworn in as the 46th president of the United States. And I am hoping for some, because why not? Right? Like after last year, after these crazy 3 weeks of 2021, why not? I'm hoping for some, like, you know, when he's like walking to the helicopter, I'm hoping he's greeted by like federal agents with warrants and subpoenas and handcuffs. But a girl can hope. So that happened. All of that happened. And it's crazy because when you say it all, and when you see it all, because we all watch live, you know, as it was happening. But when you say it all like that.
No work was done that day.
None. At fucking all. Not a single nothing. When you say it all like that, right? When you just lay it all, this is what happened. This is why it happened. This is what led up to it. And this is where we are. Like, it feels like we should all be saying things like, so we've been at home for the past 2 weeks, you know, but no, like the very next day, everything kind of just went back to normal, except it's not. And it's wild watching the other side, Republicans, the far right, the right. It's wild watching them continue to talk and maneuver like it wasn't a big deal. That, like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, it was like at the most, maybe some people got hurt and died in the scuffle outside the Capitol. You know, they're talking about it like that was the extent of it. That people didn't actually breach and that people weren't let into the Capitol and came within yards of the vice president and his family and his Secret Service detail and went into offices and stole things and took confidential information and stuff, you know, like, and that a woman was shot in her neck. Like they're acting like those things didn't happen and that if they did, they're not that big of a deal. Like the rest of us are just doing it because, or blowing it up out of proportion, and he's been impeached because we don't like him. And it's about revenge, and that we're exaggerating, and that it's on par with anything that happened at a Black Lives Matter protest.
Mm-hmm.
They're specifically ignoring the fact that 2 pipe bombs were found, that there were signs of a very coordinated effort. Certainly not by everyone there, because if that's the case, who knows what the fuck where we'd be right now, you know? But there were some people there who were ready, okay? Two-way communications, military, using hand signals, gear, weaponry, ammunition. Come on. Like,
Yeah, and
it's a huge fucking deal, and they're acting like la la la, like, you know, Democrats are doing this, blowing it out of proportion.
yeah, and I mean there are like I think it was it Lauren. I don't remember if it was Lauren Boebert or
Or
Marjorie Taylor Greene. One of them gave a large tour of the Capitol, like the day before it happened, and that's being investigated as potential that they
Right.
showed these people around.
Right. And here's the thing. You know, she could sit there and say, well, I was used, right? Like I had no idea. But the problem is that your politics, that your rhetoric attracts people like this, and that you are so blinded by it, like eating it up and so into it, like this, your belief system is so fucking rotten that you can't even see it, you know? Like, this is this bigger than, well, not a term scale, 9/11. This is a huge fucking deal, and it's scary.
I mean,
it's scary how easy it was.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, I don't know, you invoked 9/11 and that, like, honestly, like, the conspiracies around 9/11, like, oh, it was an inside job,
Mm-hmm.
like, those have always been insane. But, like, here we're seeing, like, the president incited this terrorist attack.
Yes,
on the
and
Capitol.
I did not mention that. I did not mention that right before they stormed the Capitol, he spoke to them. He had invited them there prior to come to section the Ellipse, I think, at the White House, and hear him speak. And he spoke, I think, for like an hour. And incited them and riled them up, and that had been going on from him. It had been going
and he
on
said,
from
"Go
Giuliani.
on down to the Capitol."
Yeah. And show force, right? And it had been going on from him and Hawley and Cruz and Giuliani, you know, and his sons and his daughter, and all this rhetoric had been going on for weeks. And so, yeah, I'm sorry I cut you off, but that's important to note too, that it's not just. You know, they got crazy, and there's conspiracy theories about like inside jobs, but without even going deep, it's coordinated, if that makes sense. Like, he incited them.
Yeah, that's the thing, is like, it's not even like a conspiracy, it's literally what happened.
Right.
Like, it's not even like, oh, we got to go on to like message boards and come up with some shit that happened. Like, he literally, like, it happened that day, like, in front of cameras. like it's not even something that we have to even assume or guess. And it's like, oh, like, jet fuel can't melt steel beans. Like, no, like, right here is the president saying, go there. And like, that's the thing, is like, these people, these terrorists were planning this openly on the internet, all over the fucking place, like, not just like on Twitter, but like on the Donald, that fucking place, like on Parler, you know, like, they were planning these actions, the same shit, like they've been saying the same shit about the inauguration for months, and like, you would think, like, oh, like, because they were so open about it, because it was so, like, they were saying they were going to do it, you would think, like, at least I did, I was like, oh, like, yeah, the FBI knows this.
Right.
Like, presumably the CIA knows this. The Capitol Police would probably know this. Like, anyone who needs to know this, Secret Service, they probably all know it and they're prepared for it, and they'll be able to stop it if these people actually do try to start anything.
And it's scary how unprepared they were.
Exactly. And it's like, it's not even
criminally.
It's like, it's there, and that's where it does get kind of like gray area, where it's like you have to kind of conjecture some stuff, because like I don't know like what's been proven, and like
there's certain things that, and I see what you're saying, like there's I honestly, I think what's gonna end up happening, what we're gonna end up learning, is that I think it's a combination of both. I think that there was definitely some, and like you said, a lot of it was like out in the open. I'm 100% convinced that there were some guys there, the numbers I don't know, that were fully prepared to kill some people.
Yeah, I mean, they brought the gallows.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like that this wasn't just passionate, like, you know what like that they were gonna, there were some people that I'm sure, I think that if they saw Nancy Pelosi in that building at the end of a hallway, the most they would probably have done is just sit there and scream at her, you know? Like, I'm sure there's that, but there were some seriously prepared people, and that type of like plotting and planning and stuff, I think that's going to come out, and I would not be surprised. Well, there are certain things that I think it just depends on how far they want to go, because there are people like Clarence Thomas's wife, who paid for buses, you know, to bring protesters who quickly became rioters and insurrectionists to the Capitol. So it's like, how serious are they going to go? Because in my mind, she's responsible as well. Will they go after her, try to prosecute her for that? Will they ask him to not resign? What's it called? Well, no, because if retire. Not recuse, just retire. Like, will they, you know, I don't know that they're going to go that far, but I think that they should. But I'm trying to, like, because you saw, like, right after it happened, right? Like, I was saying, are they going to impeach him? Like, I asked you, like, do you seriously think? Because I had, like, zero faith. And there's a part of me that feels like the stuff that we think may be considered an inside job, like hearing that one of the House members' aides, the panic buttons that they have, the panel with the panic buttons that they have in their offices, hers was ripped out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why? You know, so I feel like there were some things like that. I don't know that I have confidence, though, that won't be swept under the rug.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's the kind of thing, and that's what Republicans are trying to do, like you were talking about, to act like it's not a big deal, because they're culpable. They are a part of, like, they're not trying to save Donald Trump at this point.
They're trying to save their party.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is like, if Donald Trump is convicted of this, as he should be, like, then that does, like, already everything he did was already in question. But if he is actually convicted of this, like inciting insurrection, you know, then that does call into question all three of the Supreme Court justices that he appointed. And it calls into question, like, he appointed like half of the federal judges in the country.
Yeah.
And it calls all of them into question. Yeah. And so, like, and that's what Republicans don't want. Republicans, like fucking Mitch McConnell, they've been manufacturing this. They've been building this up for years. Like, you know, like they stopped President Obama from appointing any federal judges for like 2 years, the final 2 years of his presidency. And then, of course, they stopped Merrick Garland from being appointed to the Supreme Court. And so, like, they've been putting work into this for, you know, at least a decade. And so they're fighting to preserve that, and in doing so, they have to also preserve Donald Trump,
protect him.
Yeah, and it feels like they so, like, he was like 2 weeks away. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like you guys almost got away with it.
It's like they were like right there, and now he went and incited this shit, and of course they played their part in, you know, playing along with the lies,
Yes.
and talking about how voter fraud and the election was stolen, and etc. But like, you think they would have just coasted, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they got so fucking much. They got, like, yeah, they lost the presidency and they lost the Senate technically, but like the Democrats still don't have a super majority,
Right.
and, you know, and so it's just like, why not just fucking, you know, take the W that you got? You got 3 Supreme Court justices and like 400 federal judges. Like, you own the justice system, and it's like they just couldn't do it.
Nope.
They fumbled it. And
He
now
fumbled it for them. And it goes back to, but that is assuming that that's the way it plays out, which is the way it should. Which is the way it should.
Clarence Thomas should also be gone.
Yes, he should absolutely fucking be gone. Anybody who helped and aided and abetted these people to show up there and do what they did, abso-fucking-lutely. So there's a couple of, like, and I say little, what I mean is like specific things that happened during that day that I think are worth noting and talking about. Things like police officers being amongst the insurrectionists and flashing their badges to get inside, telling police officers, we're doing this for you.
Why wouldn't they think they could get away with that? Why wouldn't they? That's
the culture that exactly. Abso-fucking-lutely. And this is what I'm saying. This is why I think these things are noteworthy, that we should be talking about them. The cops who just like let them in. Now, I find it interesting that a few things that I've read over the past 3 days or so, there's that New Yorker piece that was really good. A timeline of journalists who was like literally there and took all this great video and photos and stuff. And there's that. And then there was an ABC News special that was out 3 days after. Like, they were fast. And it was really good and detailed. And now I totally forgot where I was going with that. Oh, but I feel like in the past 3 days, reading all of that stuff, watching that stuff, they're really mentioning a lot how the cops outside wrestled with those rioters for hours. And I just feel, I'm like, really? Because it didn't feel like hours.
It doesn't feel like they walked right in the door.
It felt like, yeah. And I mean, I'm not, you know, we don't have cable anymore. So like, I'm that day and since I'm just like on Twitter and people retweeting, you know, clips of stuff. And I'm, you know, looking for the live thing on CNN's page and all that. Like, so I'm feeling like everything happened kind of fast, and everything I saw very little resistance. Now, I've since come to find out, you know, I've seen video clips of like cops getting their ass beat, and nary a gun was pulled. One was killed. No guns were pulled from the cops anyway. And I'm like, wow, like,
what's that like?
Yeah, what must that be like? So there's two things there. There's the, you know, and I'm not saying that it didn't happen. I'm just saying that it doesn't feel like the fighting was that long, but that they held them off that long. And I remember thinking when they finally, you know, that shot of the cops like running up the stairs and the rioters running up behind them.
That guy did a good job.
No. I'm talking outside. You're talking about the black cop, the one cop. Yeah. I'm talking about the very first shot, when they first went in. And you see there's you know what I'm talking about? The footage of cops running up the stairs outside.
Oh, outside.
Yeah. Outside. And the crowd, right. So, that is apparently that was after a lot of, you know, fighting and, you know, an hour or more of fighting and stuff. And from that New Yorker piece, I think specifically, or maybe something else, they were talking about how it was literally, or one of the things with the cops, I think it was the Washington Post. They interviewed a few of the cops. And he was saying, like, it would take them, they were like gaining a step at a time, like trying to push these people back. And he would be like, it would be like 30 minutes, they'd get a step, you know, and then another 30 minutes, they'd push them back like one step in front of the Capitol, and then something would happen and they'd go back like 3 steps or something like that. Like it was this constant, you know, whatever. And I'm like, so what I thought when you see them running inside the building and it's like they're running from them, as a Black person, my first thought was, ain't this a bitch?
Where's your gun?
Right? Like, because Black people have been shot and killed for less.
Yes.
So I'm sitting there and like, wow. And then I gave them the benefit of the doubt. I gave them the benefit of the doubt because I'm a writer. I gave them the benefit of the doubt because I watch a lot of TV. I gave them the benefit of the doubt because I was raised by police officers. I'm thinking, oh, maybe something like what ends up happening with the cop that you were talking about, right? Like the first time that video dropped, people were like, what the fuck is he running for? Like, Jesus Christ, you know, and then it turns out, you know, he was doing that on purpose and he had a purpose to it. So then it made me think, okay, well, maybe that's what it was, where it's like, you know, maybe that's what that was about. If you're telling me they fought out there for hours and at this point it's, you know what, these motherfuckers are going to go to jail. You know, I'm like, I would not be surprised if at some point there was an order that said until help arrives. But as it turns out, no, it seems like the Capitol Police were woefully unprepared. And a couple of them absolutely said the reason I did not shoot is because I realized that they had guns and they weren't shooting us. And the only thing I could think is the only thing stopping them from shooting us is because we haven't shot them. And even though they were well within their rights, the police officers, to pull out their guns at the very least, you know what I mean? To threaten. That's the other thing. Because I'm thinking, me, just a regular ass person, if I'm carrying a gun and somebody's fucking with like physically trying to, you know, advance on me, and they won't stop, at the very least, I'm going to pull it out so they know I have it, you know, but they don't even do that. And he says, I figured, but if we shoot, we're outnumbered. We die.
Oh, wait. So they exercise de-escalation?
Yes,
escalation tactics?
John, he thought, and the thing, if you go read this, and this is, I'm trying to remember where I got all this information in case people are interested and you want to go, and I don't want to mix up facts and stuff. But the interesting thing, I believe it was the Washington Post, the one that I'm talking about, and they interviewed several of the police officers. And there's video and also a written article. The one thing I remember, like the paragraph was so thick, and he was like, and then I noticed, and I'm like, you did a lot of thinking.
A lot of fucking thinking.
You know, and then he was like, and it all happened so fast. And I'm like, wow. Okay.
And you know, like, you're talking it through it, and I'm just like, none of that fucking makes any sense.
Which part?
Like, the part, like, oh, it took hours. Because
that's what they're saying,
how the fuck
right?
did it take hours, and yet the senators and representatives inside were still in danger?
And that's
like,
the other.
Like how,
okay.
how were they not already like evacuated?
And they were saying that and specifically if you, and I challenge anybody listening, not challenge, but I'm curious to see if it makes more sense to you. Specifically, if you have access to Hulu, because that's where I watched it, and search for it. I think the show is called 24 Hours, and then it'll be, you know, it's a special and it covers different things. So this thing was 24 Hours, like the attack on the Capitol or something like that. And it's from ABC. Watch that. Check out that timeline article in the New Yorker. I think it dropped today or maybe it was yesterday. It's all kind of bleeding together. He was like I said, boots on the ground from, you know, the beginning, and was like he was in the chamber floor when the guy with the fur headdress and the spear walked in, followed by a cop.
Oh, the one
know?
with the dietary restrictions.
Yes. Okay, so we're gonna get to that too. But then, so like read that, and then I think it's Washington Post, the interviews with the cops, and you guys tell me if that lines up, because they're really making it seem like it was like fucking Battle of the Bastards. That's how they're making it seem, to the point where it's specifically they were saying that they were relieving each other. Like they were, you know what I mean? Like they were like pushing back against the rioters, and particularly one of the tunnel entrances. And the way it was described, it was very much like, when they attack, when the wildlings attack the wall, and he sent the guys. Yeah, exactly. They're making it seem like it was like a standoff for forever, to the point where like a guy would get exhausted and one would come to relieve him and like tap him out, and he'd be like, no, he needs to go. And it was all very much, and I want to be really careful because I'm not, it sounds like Clint Eastwood wrote it.
Yes, that sounds cinematic.
It really does. And I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm just saying that they're making it seem like there's that. But then, like you said, and I hadn't considered that, they're constantly telling us that they were within feet and seconds. And you know what I mean? Like when they did get into the floor, there were still coffee cups that were hot with steam coming out, like they just missed them.
Like that guy, Eugene Goodman, that cop who led the guys up the stairs.
Yeah.
Like if he hadn't gotten them to turn one way instead of the other,
turn to the left,
people would have
instead to
died
the right.
because they weren't out of there.
Nope. So I feel like some of that is defending the cops. I feel like, and then you see stuff like the one cop who was like squished and screaming. Have you guys seen that video clip?
I think so.
And the cop, like he's crying, is screaming and all that stuff. One of the cops, right? He was beaten really badly. They dragged him by his foot, pulled him down the stairs. And they were trying to get his gun. He said he heard them say several times, they were taking things off of him. Like, so whatever cops have clipped to their belt, like, the flashlight and blah, 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 cuffs. And they were trying to get a gun unholstered. And he said that he heard them saying, yeah, kill him with his own gun. And he thought, okay, this is it. And they asked him, like, then what did you do or whatever? And he said, I was saying I have kids because I was trying to appeal to their humanity.
Mm-hmm.
These people are beating your ass. They are beating your ass. They are trying to get into a building where they want to harm other people. They are actively a threat to your fellow officers. You have weapons on you. The only thing they used were batons. There were some, like, the one guy that we're going to talk about in a second, said he was shot in the face with, like, a plastic bullet or some sort of, like, plastic projectile. So those were definitely used. There was definitely the spraying and all that stuff. But, like, y'all had guns and you chose not to use them. And it's interesting to me that you did that. And and other people, and here's the thing, though. And I want to be, again, really careful, because I get where people are like, well, Ashley Babbitt wasn't armed and she was just coming through a, what kind of threat? And I'm like, look, it is my assumption that it's different when you trying to fucking get to the Speaker of the House and the Vice President. That's just my assumption. My assumption is that if the President of the United States, no matter who it is surrounded with Secret Service, and my dumb ass come running up on him, acting crazy, I might get shot. I don't know the rules for the Secret Service.
that woman got every opportunity to save her own life.
Yes.
Every single one. She went through, apparently they all fought with the cops outside for hours, and then she went through windows and doors to get into the Capitol, and then they get into this hallway
and have debates and screaming at cops.
Yeah, and the guy over there was like, "Do not come through that window. I will shoot you." And then she's like, "I'm going to come through this window." And what the fuck do you think's going to happen?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that was and like that's one thing. Is like that was the first person. That was the first real resistance that
Yep.
they met.
Yep.
Like, and she met the fuck out of it.
She absolutely, with her neck, or her entire full-throated met that.
Yeah, I
Yes.
mean that's the thing is like
that consequence.
And that's the thing is like even taking the Capitol Police at their word, which I mean, some of it I'm sure is true, some of it I'm sure is exaggeration on their part.
Mm-hmm.
But you think about like the fact that I wasn't hours. Like I was saying, it was not hours. I watched it live. It was not hours, but
That's what I thought.
It was an extended time.
Yeah.
And it was definitely enough time that the National Guard could have come up.
Yeah, but like, the thing with that was they didn't like the optics.
Yeah, because it's a bunch of white people.
Yeah.
And Trump was like, I don't want to, this is my supporters. I told him to go there.
Yeah.
And so it took, I think it was Pence who was finally like, get the National Guard in here. They're trying to kill me.
Yep.
And that's the thing is like, if they would have deployed the actual shit that they're supposed to deploy, it wouldn't have gotten where it got.
Yeah.
Like it wouldn't have.
She would be alive today. Yeah. A lot of people, most of those people, I don't know about the people with the medical emergencies. If you got bad health, like, I got a bad heart and high blood pressure, I ain't taking my ass. The most exciting, a BTS concert. That's it.
I mean, I'm surprised anybody died from, any kind of health issue because, again, the cops were helping them down the stairs.
Listen, so the video, if you go to the New Yorker story, because the guy was in there and he's talking about it, and he's also, he's covered Charlottesville. He's covered several other protests where Proud Boys have clashed with BLM protesters. And he was like, I know, I've seen him at Charlottesville. I saw him in the Capitol. Like these were like known white supremacists. But his recount was when the guy with the fur headdress and the Jake Angeli, I think his name is, or I'm just gonna say Angeli because I'm pretty sure that's his last name. I know his first name starts with a J. But when he walks in with the spear, I read the article first and he's describing it. Then I saw the video today and it made me sick to my stomach. And as he describes it is exactly as it plays out. There's two guys that were in there. They were dressed like in military, and we found out one is the guy who was turned in by his ex-wife. And the other is the younger guy. And, he was like, he got really thick Southern drawl and he was telling everybody, be respectful though, be respectful. This is still, the Capitol, and be respectful, because some of them was ready to like, they were like, where's Nancy? We're through all this stuff. They wanted to, trash the place. And, they asked him his name and he said, Mr. Black. And it turns out that is actually his last name. And he's sitting there with his back against like the podium area where the vice president just was, right, minutes ago. And he's like, I'm going to call my dad. And he takes out his cell phone and he calls his dad and he's like, yeah. And the reporter is describing it in the article that he can see there's like a plastic something sticking out of this guy's cheek and there's blood. And then he says that's when the guy with the spear walks in. Behind him is a cop. The guy with the spear is like, oh, wow, would you look at this? When the cop sees the guy sitting on the floor calling his dad with the fucking projectile sticking out of his face, the cop says, excuse me, sir, do you need any assistance? And he goes, no, I'm okay. And also, I'm making sure they're being real respectful in here. The fucking spear guy goes up to the podium. The cop says, is there any way I could get you guys to clear out of here? And they're like, no.
Going through the motions.
Yeah. And the guy says, the spear guy now goes and he sits down in Pence's chair, puts his feet up or whatever. The cop is like, I just want you guys to understand that this is the sacredest of the sacredest. He's negotiating, talking to I'm like, you literally have a gun on your hip. If you pulled it out and told them to get their fucking asses out of here, they'd have to do it. What are you doing?
Negotiating directly with a terrorist.
Yes. So then,
which is what we don't do, I thought.
The guy is on the phone talking to his dad. He's like, yeah, I got shot in the face with some plastic. And then the guy with the spear is like, well, let me just take a picture. I don't usually take selfies, but this is a special occasion. And the cop let him take a picture sitting there in the chair. And then the guy, he was going to leave. And he goes, wait. And he takes out some papers and a pen. And the cop says, now I think you're taking advantage. Or now I think you're pushing it. Or something like that. The guy, this is the guy with the spear and jelly. He ignores the cop and writes something. And it turns out that's the note that he left for Pence. Saying something like, this isn't over. This is far from, some shit like that. And the cop was like, oh, now you're taking, I was like, what? That's what you say to your toddler when you tell them, okay, one more song and then you got to go to bed. You know what I mean? They're like, okay, can you read me a story? He's like, all right, you're pushing it. Like, what the fuck are we doing? And I don't know what they think that looks like. Because what it looks like is y'all let white people do whatever the fuck they want.
It looks like policing.
Exactly.
That's what it looks like.
So there's
that's
that
exactly
tidbit.
What they fucking do.
Did you see the other tidbit? The girl who supposedly stole something from Nancy Pelosi's office, either a hard drive or a laptop, and planned to sell it to Russia. Mm-hmm. And so I heard about that yesterday, late last night. And then today, they're still trending and they're talking about it. And I guess they gave a conference or whatever. Because they haven't apprehended her yet, right? I think they're looking for her. And one of the people in the thread was like, oh, look at me. I happened to catch her on video absconding with the thing. So the first tweet is the thing about it, telling you this breaking news, whatever, who she is, what she's suspected of doing, what she said. And the sale, supposedly fell through. She had a friend in Russia who was like, you send me the laptop, I can sell it to, I guess, the Russian Secret Service or some shit. And so that was the plan. So then there's video of her in the Capitol, in the crowd. Have you guys seen this video?
I don't think so.
And they are outside, they're in the hall outside leading to Nancy Pelosi's office. And she is very clearly leading people, directing people to go that way to the point where it's like she's kind of standing still at one point and letting people go in front of her and riling people up. And she has a black and white tote bag, slung messenger style over her, right? Then the guy and so she definitely goes down that hallway and spends time in Nancy Pelosi's office. Then the tweet that I saw where he was like, look, it is a video. It's her leaving. There's it looks like a kind of a low wall. You know what I mean? Where people might just kind of sit and eat or whatever, a low wall with grass behind it. And you can see insurrectionists helping each other up, some still trying to go in. And her climbing down off this low wall, booking it with something clearly in that bag that she had been carrying. Mm-hmm. You haven't seen that? I'm like, Jesus Christ.
I saw you say her she was leading people, and that reminded me of another video where they busted through a window, and then there was a woman on a blowhorn, and she was like, "Listen, I've been in here. I've been in the room next door. In the next door, there's a window in the floor, and you can break that window and go through to the room below it," or some shit like that. And she was I wouldn't be surprised if she was in that tour that what's her name? Because she was like, I've been here before. I know all this shit. And so you said that, I was like, I wonder if it's the same woman. It's all fucked up.
Oh yeah, I want to see that video now. There's that. What else? There was just, I'm trying to, and I want to say this because it popped into my head and I wanted to say it kind of towards the end, but I just remembered. I'm so glad someone did it, but there's another great piece about how the people who literally cleaned up the Capitol the next day, the people who came in there and mopped the floors and cleaned up the glass and wiped the blood and the shit and shampooed the carpets to get the piss out of it. were all people of color.
Mm-hmm.
Every last fucking one of them. If that don't tell you, and to hear one cop was like, one black cop said, I was called a nigger 15 times today.
Yeah,
I
read
fucking
that
believe him, because he said 15, not 12, not 13, not 16, 15 motherfucking times. Because if there's one thing a black person is going to remember, it's all the times they were called a nigger.
Yeah, and that he broke down crying and like screamed that, right?
Yep. He taught how to the other cops. He goes, half the department supports that motherfucker. Talking about the president.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody needs to say it.
It's a generous number too.
Yeah. And
somebody like
needs
80%.
to say it. You see how fast those blue lives stop mattering? You see that shit? You see how fucking fast it was killing with their own gun? And how in that moment you can hear that and say, I decided to appeal to to their humanity. Because even in all that, even when you hear people saying, take his gun and kill him with it, you still assume they have humanity. Why?
Yeah, maybe he should be like, I'm white. Yeah, maybe that's
right.
They would have fucking listened, because
or throw up that little fucking, what do you call it? That white power hand symbol. I know all you motherfuckers know it. Throw that bitch up there. Save yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So that happened, and I hope a lot of people fucking roll because of it. Trump is now permanently suspended from Twitter. Trump has been Parler was down, but I read today that it's back up and running thanks to some Russian servers that we can't monitor.
That would make sense.
What I'm trying to think of what all they've lost. He's banned from Snapchat, Pinterest.
Yeah, he's indefinitely suspended from like Facebook and Instagram, and they've said they may reinstate him after the inauguration, which is like, why? Don't fucking do it.
Right. It's so stupid because it's particularly if your reason for doing that, for kicking him off, is that he used his influence to incite violence. Why would you think after the inauguration he loses his influence? Like, do you think after the inauguration they're all going to be like, well, we listen to Biden now? They're going to burn all their Trump flags? Like, you know? Like,
yeah,
what?
Famously, all ex-presidents, never go on to do anything else.
Yeah, right. They just disappear. So, that's where we are. I will say I'm enjoying seeing like the people get arrested and lose their jobs. And the one thing that I was worried, because I don't trust Democrats to have balls.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was very, very worried. But, this happened on a Wednesday and Thursday and Friday, and, those first few days where I'm reading and seeing new videos, and I'm thinking to myself, there's no fucking way Nancy Pelosi lets this go. When I saw the pictures of that white man sitting at her desk.
Yeah, you mean Brett Favre?
Yeah. John.
I said the same thing. He
Did
looked like
you?
Brett Favre. I said that the day the picture came out.
Especially when he's outside and he's got his shirt off. I was like, why the fuck did Brett Favre take his shirt off at the Capitol? What's going on?
He had his Crocs up on her desk. But I saw that, and I didn't say it to anyone, but to myself, I just thought, she can't let this go. It was just, as a woman, I'm like, he's sitting there. I was like, she can't. And as the FBI has been having these briefings, every time they issue warrants, every time they arrest the motherfucker, we get a little bit more information, why this particular person, what they are suspected of have done. And one of them said, I think when the full details come out, people will be Very shocked. I still feels like there's some shit went down in there we just don't know yet. Cause like if it's funny to me that some people, I feel like the poop, like that doesn't get enough mention. Like it felt like to me they were purposely trying to, but then again, I was pleasantly surprised by how I don't think I've read anything on any online publication that soft talks this. They're very specifically calling this an insurrection. Mm-hmm. They're very specifically, I feel like, more so than they were doing before this, blatantly saying that Donald Trump is lying. Before it would be things like, baseless or suspicions. Now they're specifically saying after the president has been lying for weeks. And I'm like, wow, it would have been nice if you guys treated him like this, because it's not like he just started lying.
Yeah.
Or getting caught lying.
Be president.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
He would not be president
if they did their fucking jobs.
Yeah. If the media reported on him like with any kind of integrity, and if social media would have banned him when they could have 5 fucking years ago. Mm-hmm.
So,
and that's the thing is, like, you talk about like the possibility of like more coming out about like around like inside connections or whatever.
Because you know what I mean, like
how did they find Nancy Pelosi's office so fast? That's like, because I.
But if they went on those tours, wouldn't they find that out from the tour?
Well, exactly. That's what I mean. And like, yeah. I don't know if they would have, because apparently there's like a ton of offices, and then it makes sense. Every member of Congress has an office in that building.
Because I think what John is saying, because the way, from what I've read and what I've seen, I've never been to the Capitol, knowledge of what this area looks like. It felt like there's like that like rotunda area, and it branches off, right? And it'll say like what are they called? Like is it the Senate Hall? Like the hallways have different names and stuff. And I feel like on a tour, they would say, and down this hallway is where the Speaker of the House. But when you go down that hallway, like John said, there's like if you saw it, there's like office, they're like crammed in there. So it's like they knew exactly. I can understand if on a tour they would tell you, and this is where this, and this is where the vice president does this, but it's very broad, waving of arms type thing. They're not going to actually take you in and be like, and this is her private bathroom. But they went.
Yeah, this is her computer.
Yeah, it felt like they knew exactly where to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like they.
And I don't think you get that on a tour.
And then like. I mean, maybe like on a private tour from some senator
who likes to carry a gun and who looks like Sarah Palin on meth. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. And so like it's not like they went in there and like searched around for a while and found Nancy Pelosi's office. They went in there and then immediately went to Nancy Pelosi's office.
Yeah,
like they knew where it was, or like you were saying earlier, someone was leading them to places. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I mean. Is like. It does sound like they had inside information from someone. Like, I don't know who. I mean, I would say, like, maybe question Ted fucking Cruz and Josh Hawley.
I cannot. They gotta go. I cannot. I don't see a situation in which this is done and they still have their jobs, right? Like, how are they not held responsible? And fuck Lindsey Graham, by the way, when they finally resumed later that night to certify the election, which I love that they did that. Lindsey Graham's little speech, he stood up there like he was at a bar mitzvah.
Yeah, he's like...
Trump and I used to go golfing together, but fuck that nigga now, am I right? Like, like, what the fuck? Like, shut up. Like, you're responsible for this, too. Him, Mitch McConnell, fuck all of them. And I keep thinking, going back to Lindsey Graham saying, if we elect Donald Trump, our party will be destroyed and we will deserve it. And I pray that this is that.
Yeah.
And the Democrats better not fuck this up.
Somehow. I mean, that's the thing is, like, the Republican Party is fractured. Like, it feels like irreparably.
Yeah.
To the point where, like, Republicans are gonna have to go, like, they already embraced Donald Trump. They're gonna have to just go full Trump.
Yeah.
Like, they're gonna have, like, because if they don't and they try to fight against it, they will never win anything.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna run against Trump Republicans. They're gonna run against, those people who are gonna pull those voters.
I can't believe we now have Trump Republicans.
Yeah, yeah. But I
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, this, huh?
I can believe it.
No, I don't mean like that. I mean that this is what the world has come to. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, when did you first become aware of Donald Trump? Not through this, right?
No. I mean, technically, like a lot of people my age, Home Alone 2.
Right. So you have that, or you think of people who may have seen him or watched The Apprentice. I think we watched like the first 2 seasons of The Apprentice or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, if like back then.
Apprentice.
The who?
The Celebrity
Oh,
Apprentice.
right. I think I remember you watching that. But what was I saying? Oh, but like I'm talking about in that sense. Like, if you think back that time, I don't know that I would have thought that he would become a influential political figure, much like president of the fucking United States.
Yeah, I mean, and it's the thing is like.
So just saying like Trump Republicans is just still fucking crazy to me.
Yeah, and the thing is like he gets too much credit. I mean, he gets too much credit because he's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
And he's never gotten anything of his own accord in his life. And this is one of just another of those things where, like, these people were just mad that a black man became president. Mm-hmm. And they were going to glom onto anyone who was opportunist enough to exploit that. So Donald Trump was like, I'm a birther. And then suddenly they're like, yes, this guy, he knows what's up. And then they just voted him in because racism.
What do you think of people then, like the woman who was shot? And I've watched that video so many times. I'm not even gonna lie. Ashley Babbitt. Mm-hmm. What then do you make of people like her who voted for Obama, supported Obama? Like, and then you hear like these stories. I mean, as a black person, this is what I believe. Like, when I hear, and this is not like the first time, by the way, she's the most recent, but I've throughout his presidency, I've heard stories like this. There was so Trump support. They're not racist. They voted for Obama. So they say, right? But assuming they're telling the truth. What I feel like when I look at someone like her, who was 14 years in the Air Force, well, she was I don't want to get, whatever. She served in the Air Force. I know she served like 4 tours. And to me, if you tell me a white girl from California joined the military, I'm thinking that girl's a Republican. I'm thinking that she ain't vote for Obama. But she says that she did. Her family and friends was like, she support. We don't know what happened. And then, they saying that over the past like 2 years or so, she became radicalized. And when I hear that their family and friends are like, that's what happened. So I don't know. I don't think she's racist. I don't believe that. I don't believe.
No.
At all. And I'm like, if that's true, like, how does something like that happen? If it's true, what did he do? What could make you to the point where you get shot in your neck for him? You served your fucking country, was sent overseas, went to war for your fucking country, and came out fine. You came home and took a bullet in your neck after climbing through a fucking door window for Donald Trump? How? These people.
I mean, I think your question is rhetorical, right?
Yeah, it really is. Because I honestly, and I don't care. I don't.
Yeah. I mean, because I think the answer is, I mean, it's racism. Like, I wholeheartedly believe that's the answer.
Well, that's what happened to her. The cop that you mentioned that died, he apparently was struck in the head. He was beaten by the rioters, the insurrectionists, and he was beaten in the head with the fire extinguisher and collapsed when he went back to the station house and went to the hospital and later died there. I can't wait for them to find that person. That's going to be interesting because we haven't heard shit about that, but they got to be investigating that. One of their own died. They got to be trying to investigate that.
I don't know.
Then there was did you guys hear about the Capitol police officer who then killed himself on Saturday, the Saturday after?
Yes.
Yeah. That's weird.
I think that's a guilty conscience.
Like, see, that's, my mind, again, the writer, the avid TV watcher, I'm like, it feels like one of those things where, you guys, if this is 10 years later, right, and we're trying to solve a case, we're trying to solve something that's connected to this, that feels like the thing that would kind of start us on the right track. Like, in the midst of all this news, no one's talking about the cop who was there on Wednesday, was involved in the shit, and then killed himself on Saturday. Like, nobody's talking about that. I would be like, yeah, in my story, it turns out, like Donnie said, guilty conscience because he let them in, or he's the one. Like,
yeah.
You know?
He fucked up and there was no... And
yeah. You start following that money trail, but like nobody, it's just so weird to me. Or did he kill himself? Or did he kill himself? Right. So there's that.
I mean, if we're writing this into a story.
Yeah, if we're writing into a story. In real life, he took his own life. That is what has been reported. And it's sad. And I particularly with suicide, because you can never, when people say, oh, I'm suspicious because this person wouldn't do that. Like, that's what makes it so scary, is that you don't know, so I don't want to speculate, but I did find that noteworthy, for all the reasons I just said. So anyway, that happened and he's been impeached. So what happens next? Because the other thing has been, they're like, oh, we shouldn't impeach him because we need to heal.
Uh-huh.
Ow. That's what white people are saying. The Republicans.
Yeah. Of course. I mean, that's the thing is, like...
What do you think the other side, meaning our side, would do if they fell for that banana in the tailpipe? If they were like, we take it back. Well, we wouldn't storm the fucking Capitol, I'll tell you that much. We're smarter than that.
I'll tell you what, the whole country's afraid of civil unrest at this point, though.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I would be so fucking
There's memos, like, I came into work today, and they were handing out, like, not handing out, but it's all over our internal systems, like, these new procedures we have to follow and know what to do with civil unrest. I did, like, I think it was the Capitol here in Oregon. I think it was yesterday or today. They arrested several people, or several people came up to the Capitol armed, like, for a protest, but it was like only like 60 people. Like, they had the date wrong.
They just came out of their meth stupor.
Oh shit! We got the date.
They just came out of their meth stupor.
Like,
It's
oh, is
tomorrow,
the 6th?
shit.
I thought it was the 16th.
16th. Oh my god. So what happens next though? Because I feel like they
Probably
said,
nothing.
the trial is supposed to start what, Friday?
Yeah, the trial's supposed to after.
Yeah, I mean, but
After
that's
the
what I mean.
inauguration, but
Like,
is it Friday?
But he's already at that point. He won't be president. It's like, okay, it'll be
He's,
like
yeah.
in the record books or whatever. But it's like, I don't know. To
No,
me,
he's,
it's just
hold on a second. He goes on trial, right?
right. But what's
I'm not.
impeachment?
Wait, no.
It's just-
Go ahead. No, I wasn't. I was asking John because John was trying to say something and I couldn't tell if he was agreeing with me or you.
Oh no, I'm just saying impeachment is just a title that they what does
Right?
impeachment
No, I
do?
get it. I get it. It's why he wasn't removed the first time, but this
Right.
is different, right? Like
Why
he's
is it
being
different?
charged.
He's not going to face criminal charges.
no, that's what happens when you get impeached. You get impeached by the House, and then you go on trial in the Senate.
In the Senate.
And yeah, and then so what's going to happen here? Like it is. I mean, it's unprecedented, obviously, or as Donald Trump might say, unprecedented. But it is something where that's why I say I don't think anything's actually going to happen. Like it. The reason because in the House there were like 10 Republicans
that
out
voted,
of
yeah.
out of like 100 and something.
Mhm.
And so it's like in the Senate they would need 10 Republicans, and it's out of 50, and so there it's possible that Republicans will be like, yeah, fuck it, he's not president anymore, let's go ahead and punish him and blah blah blah. But it does feel like you're talking about, we were talking about earlier, they're trying to say, oh, it wasn't a big deal, and because they want to protect those judges and they want to protect the Supreme Court. And so and they're already talking about how, oh, well, like he won't be president anymore, so technically the Senate won't have any jurisdiction, and they're already giving themselves an out.
Yeah.
And so honestly, it doesn't feel like he's going to be convicted in the Senate, but what it does feel like is he could be charged in DC for the same crime of inciting insurrection and all that, inciting violence. There's already Letitia James, the DA in New York,
waiting for his ass.
She's gonna go after that whole family, and there's also speculation around the fact that he has no money, the fact that the bank that he
Deutsche
got his
Bank?
loans from, Deutsche Bank, they stopped doing business with him, and I'm not a banker, and so I don't want to be like, oh, I know this in and out, but I think what I read was that the only reason they would financially be able to do that is if
He's fine.
if his loans, he's not maintaining them. He's not paying.
Making current,
and so,
consistent payments on them.
Yeah, so they can't I don't think a bank can go, oh, like Twitter is, oh, you're banned. I think a bank, they need their money. And so if you're not current on your payments, they can go, oh, well, we're just gonna close your account and take all your shit in place of the money that you owe us. And so there's that possibility. So I'm not saying he's gonna get away with everything. He probably will, because fucking it's America. But there are other things outside of the Senate, and there's also so I don't think the impeachment's great. I just don't think they're gonna actually convict him. But what I think will happen, what should happen, is you can ban someone from future office, from holding office in the future, and for that you only need a simple majority.
Okay.
And so you don't need 3/4 of the Senate the way that you do to convict. I think that's so they would need 25. Actually, they would need 25 Republicans to come to their side to do that. But to ban him from future office, I think you just need, the 50 Democrats you have plus Kamala Harris.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that could absolutely happen. But I also think, and this is like the pessimists, and I've seen Democrats do things before, like Biden could fucking pardon them. Like that could fucking happen. Biden could be like, we gotta heal, and then like just pardon them, and we gotta put this behind us, that kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
So like I don't know what's gonna happen. But Biden can't pardon him in New York, and he can't pardon him, in the local jurisdiction in DC. So like he can't do that shit. So like he could still face charges in those places no matter what. So that's what I think is gonna happen. I optimistically, yeah, sure, it'd be great if he got convicted in the Senate. I just don't think it's gonna happen.
Well, we got a puppy. His name is Nico. He is a Pomeranian. And he is so fucking cute, right, Tony?
Mm-hmm.
Tell everybody about my baby. What?
I say he's right here.
Doing what?
Playing with his squirrel toy.
Is he humping it? Oh, the squirrel toy. Never mind.
The squirrel one. He's got his head stuck in one of the holes.
Oh.
So is he humping?
Yeah, there's I got mixed up with the toys.
He humps the dog.
Yeah, he humps. There's a little. It's called a I can't remember what it's called. Like a.
He has standards.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, we got him. Oh my god, when did we get Nico? Oh my god, that Saturday, was it
2 weeks?
Saturday after Christmas or Saturday after New Year? Or Saturday after New Year's?
New Year's.
Yeah. Because Kaylee and I stayed out to watch like the Big Hit concert, and we were like, thank God we're getting the dog after this. Yeah, so we got him, it's been 2 weeks, and he is, how old is Nico exactly now? Oh my god, I'm a bad mom.
So he was born at the end of October?
Yeah, hold on.
October 26th.
26, yeah. I know, I'm trying to, oh my god, I'm a dummy. I went all the way back to August. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So he's 12 weeks old. And he's so stinking cute. Oh my god. He is the cutest dog. He's all black fur except for like a little white soul patch under his bottom lip and on his chin. And then he has like this patch of white
fingers
on his neck. Yeah, and then he has like little slippers on his paws. He has like white tufts of fur on the bottom of his paws. Oh god, he's so cute. And he's so smart. He sits on command now.
Right now he's Kaylee's sitting on the floor in his style. Mm-hmm. He's got the little toy.
Not Indian style. It's called crisscross applesauce. Donnie!
Sorry.
Crisscross
applesauce. Sorry.
Jesus Christ.
But he jumps up in her lap, cuddles, and then starts chewing on his toy. Then he'll jump out, chase her around the living room, then go back to her lap, cuddle up, and chew on his toy.
He has like the cutest little habits too. Like he has to sit to eat. So he goes over to his bowl and he'll take like a couple of pieces of kibble and like step back and then just sit on his butt and like eat like that. Oh, I just love him so much. What else, Donnie? He sits. He's house trained.
Yeah, he's house trained.
Yeah, we did that in like 3 days. He's so smart. Oh my god, he's so smart. So now we're working on nipping, like biting to when he plays. Like his teeth are really sharp. I bought him these little stairs because he likes to jump off the couch from this one point. And our friend Kat, for those of you guys listening, the three of us, we have a friend named Kat who is a professional dog trainer and behaviorist, and she has been so fucking helpful and so good to us. And she gave us all this information, including like a list of stuff to buy. So I prepped before he got here, like preparing for a new baby, and brought all this stuff. And and she just tips on how to train him and, you know, make sure he's crate trained and taking him out and stuff like that. And so far, no problems. But she was saying that, you know, their bones aren't completely fused yet. And so he could hurt himself, like trying to jump off the couch. So I immediately went to Amazon and bought like these little stairs. And he's so cute. He goes up them, but he still tries to jump off the couch because he's afraid of the, like, it's 2 steps. So he can do the first one, but for some reason he just doesn't have the confidence to go from the top step to the next. So we're working on it. We've been kind of like training him with it with treats and stuff. So, but yeah, the thing that he likes to hump is a little puppy, and it's this, it's specifically for crate training, and Kat recommended it. And it's like, it looks like a little pound puppy. Remember those? And the under the belly, the stomach, it's like a little pouch, and there are these heating packs that you can put in there, and then there's a little heart that you press and it beats, and you put that in there, and it just helps when you're comforting them in the crate to sleep and stuff, so that they don't miss like their mom. And so that thing, for some reason, that's the thing he likes to hump. And I did not know that baby dogs humped. I was not ready for that. I was like, why is my baby humping? He's a
Everybody
baby.
humps.
I was like, what does he know about humping? I was not ready for that. But yeah, I just love him to bits. He's the best. Okay. Donnie, you did not gush about our baby enough. You suck.
What?
What?
I didn't know what you were saying.
Oh, you didn't gush about him enough. People are going to think you don't like the dog.
Believe me, I like the dog. I take care of him on the weekends.
No, you don't.
For the most part,
No. Well, no, yeah, this past weekend definitely, because I had a bunch of schoolwork to do. Oh, that's right, you guys.
But
I'm back in school.
The very first week we got him, he was with me nonstop.
Yeah, because Donnie was on vacation when we got him. It just kind of worked out that way. And yeah, he's the best little puppy. So that's it. That's all I got.
I didn't get a dog, but I watched some movies.
What movies did you watch?
I watched a bunch of movies. I watched Sylvie's Love.
Mm-hmm.
You guys seen that?
No, Tessa Thompson and Kerry Washington's husband.
Namdi Asamoah.
Thank you.
It's a really good movie. It's a really good love story.
Mm-hmm.
I watched, I was trying to check.
And that's on Amazon, right? Did you say that's on Amazon, right?
Yeah, it's on Amazon, I think, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to catch up on, like, movies at the end of the year, like, that I heard were good.
Mm-hmm.
So I watched the 40-year-old version.
You never seen that?
No, I hadn't watched it.
Which one?
The 40-year-old version.
Version?
Yeah.
What's that?
It's about... What's her name? I'll tell you her name right here.
Oh, Version!
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why it's called that. It's called that because it's a play on that title. 40,
I was like, I know
version.
your white ass seen 40-year-old Virgin. White people love that.
Yeah, it's 15 years old. Of course I've seen that. No, this is about, it stars Rada Blank, and she's a playwright, and then she becomes a rapper. And it's about... It's good. It's a really good movie.
It sounds good. It's just not what I thought you were going to say. She's a playwright and then she becomes a rapper. Like, that's just a thing people do. They become rappers. Okay.
Yeah, that's what she does. Yeah, and she's... I really liked it. And, like, the one thing... Like, it was a really good movie. And the thing that I really... Like, the one thing that stood out to me was, like, her relationship with her friend / manager. It just felt like a very real relationship. Like, it was very good. It was a good movie overall. Like, the whole thing was, like, it got a lot of good attention. Like, it's one of the best movies of the year, and it is. I watched His House, which is another movie that got a lot of attention as, one of the best of the year.
Okay.
It's about. y'all remember that comic book that I covered for Project Fandom called Infidel,
Mm-hmm.
where like the like apartment building is haunted?
By like racism and xenophobia
Yeah,
and
like
stuff.
by racism.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Uh-huh. I read
That
it too. Mm-hmm.
this movie is kind of like that.
What's it called again?
Oh wait,
His
I did,
house.
yeah, I did watch that. That's about the black couple, right?
Yeah, they're from South Sudan and they
Oh,
move.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
don't tell me anything else. I want to see it. It has that fine ass one me.
Yes.
Yes, and
yeah,
Fred
exactly.
from Humans.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, I did watch that.
Oh, I want to watch that.
is
Okay.
yeah. So like they're a
Don't. Is
refugee
it
couple and
bad?
they move to.
Is it bad?
No, it's good. I
Oh,
like
okay. I just got nervous.
it. Most of the movies I watched were good.
Okay. I was
I
like nervous
watched.
because he finally named a movie that I've heard of and that I'm actually interested in, and then I expected him to be like, it wasn't that good though.
No, it was good, and like, and I kind of. I mean, it is similar to that comic. That's what I'll say. It's
Okay.
similar. It's
Okay.
similar to that.
Wait, hold
Um,
on. Wait. Hold on. I gotta go get an edible. I meant to ask Haley to get it, but she left the room too fast. Talk amongst yourselves, but don't say anything
All right.
interesting. Don't say anything interesting.
So Donnie, you saw that movie? You said right?
Yes.
His house.
Yep.
Did you like it?
Yes. I did like it. It was a horror movie. That's why I watched it.
Yeah, it was a horror movie. Like, I don't know what I expected. Like, I didn't expect it to be that much of a horror movie, honestly.
And it wasn't like until they were like there. I don't think, and I still don't think it was like a scary movie, but there was definitely
Are y'all talking about his
some
house?
scenes that were terrifying. I guess you could say just the walls, the stuff with the walls and stuff like that.
Yeah. All right. So we'll stop talking about it because news bad.
Yeah, shut up. Now you spoiled it. Now I know the walls are bad.
The
They
walls
just
are bad
need
in
to be
his
clean.
house.
Bad and scary. Go ahead, John.
Another one.
You watched One Night in Miami.
I did.
And
I'll
so
talk
did
about that one in
I.
a minute. I'll talk about that one in a minute. We can talk
Okay.
about that one. But I watched Outside the Wire on Netflix.
I started that the other day, and I fell asleep.
Yeah, it's frustratingly close to being a good movie. It's one of those where it's like it's an interesting, concept, but
Yeah.
it's only surface level interesting. It's like once you get into the actual plot, it's like, yeah, this is not compelling. I watched it and I did enjoy most of it. Like
We signed up for Stars the other day so we could start watching American Gods, and they had the Last Bad Boys on there, and I hadn't seen that, so I watched that over the weekend. I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was a decent movie.
I still haven't watched that. I want to.
It was good.
Yeah, and I watched Promising Young Woman.
Did you like it?
I liked it. I thought it was really good. Carey Mulligan's really good in it, and I think I would say like it should be required viewing. It's one of those movies that like every man should watch it.
Okay. I know my friend watched it the other night. I don't know if I ever found out, like, if Chris Love. I don't know if she liked it or not. I remember when she posted about watching it, people were like, not for no $20. She was like, well, it's a movie I would have gone to the movies to see, and I would have gone with my husband, and we'd have paid way more than $20. So,
yeah, I mean, I paid $20, and I would not have seen it in a theater.
hold the fuck up. Hold up.
What?
Did we? Never mind. Oh my God. I don't even know, because I don't know if we ever talked about it. John, did you like Wonder Woman 84?
We don't have to talk about that movie.
You did like it! Oh my God!
I did. I thought it was
John, how
okay.
could
I did not. I
you?
would not say it's. I would not say that I would not say I liked it. No. It's kind of similar to Outside the Wire in that instance, where like it had parts where I was like, yeah, I like this, but like I'm in no hurry to watch it again. You know what I mean? Like I'm probably never gonna watch it again.
What were they thinking?
I mean, I think I have complaints that other people don't.
What
Like,
complaints do you have?
well, the thing that I would say is, like, for me, I think you fix the movie by completely just removing the Steve Trevor character.
Yes.
Like, that's what I think. That's fine, because, like, I know, like, I saw some people were like, "Oh, you should take out, like, it should just be, like, you should take out Maxwell Lord," and I was like, "Well, no, like, that's the
No.
most interesting character in the whole."
Yeah.
fucking
Oh
movie.
my God. He was honestly. I was like, I think it was the first scene where he goes into the office and we see his son for the first time, and he's talking to his son. And we had like a live thread in the group, and I think I said it there. I was like, I literally sat up. I was like, oh, Pedro acting. Like, he came to act.
It's like, you know, you have this is an okay movie, but it could be better.
Yeah. And I said to Donnie, I was like, he was making up for all that time under that helmet. He was like, oh, motherfuckers, I can act.
I have a face.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is, like,
yeah, I liked him.
to me, like, I feel like, first overall for Wonder Woman 1984, I would say, like, to me, it was a mixture of the Richard Donner, Christopher Reeve Superman, and the Schumacher, right? Joel Schumacher, Batman Forever.
Okay.
Because I think that's kind of, because, like, you have in the beginning, like, that scene in the mall could absolutely, like, that would be right at home in one of those Superman movies, because it was, like, just on the edge of, like, cheesy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was like the cornball kind of stuff. And it's like, if that's the way you want to go, the way that those Superman movies, like, they went full on, like, the whole movie was that way, fine.
Yeah.
But so, like, that's the kind of stuff. And I feel like Maxwell Lord was very similar, like, in tone to Gene Hackman's Lex Luthor.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Like, but then, like, you have the Barbara character, the Cheetah or whatever. That's 100% Jim Carrey's Riddler from Batman Forever.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, you know, even like the chance meeting of, oh, I met Bruce Wayne, like, oh, I met, you know, Diana.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like, and then by the end of it, you have Maxwell Lord, who's also gone full on, like, into that, you know, like, campy sort of, like, you know, Riddler area. Similar
he was
to, like,
also, he was also kind of like, do you guys remember at the end of the first Batman, Christopher Walken?
Yeah.
He kind of went manic, scene chewy, off the rails, over the top, evil by the end of that movie. But anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, that's what I think is, like, right at the end of Batman Forever, the Riddler character, you know, he creates that, like, that thing that he can, like, control people's minds, like, through television or whatever.
Right.
And like, it just feels like this, like, that's what Maxwell Lord does, except he uses a satellite to grant them wishes.
And apparently nobody wished for anything good.
Yeah, because people suck. And that's the thing, is, like, I mean, like, all of that shit, like, I'm on board with that. Like, it, like, all of that, because I'm one of the few people, I really like Batman Forever, because I feel like Batman Forever buys into itself. You know what I mean? Like, the same way that those Superman movies buy into themselves. Like, they're like, and if you like, I happen to not be a big fan of those Superman movies, but, like, at least they commit. You know what I mean? And that's what Batman Forever does. Batman and Robin, not so much, but committed. Batman and Robin should be committed. But Batman Forever is good, I think. At least I enjoy it. But, like, the stuff with Wonder Woman 1984 is, like, everything about the Steve Trevor character is pointless and stupid and doesn't fit the movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
it was
like, you're dealing with.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, sorry. I was just like, you're dealing with a magic rock, and so, like, if you're dealing with this magic rock that can do fucking anything, why can't he just show up as himself? Right. Why does he have to be this other guy who, like, you have Steve Trevor take over this guy's life? Does this guy have a wife, a girlfriend, kids, a mother?
They had sex with the guy's body.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. It's like, you're taking over this guy's life. You, like, that whole sex scene, like, you could have had this exact same movie without them having sex.
Yeah.
And like, and that would have improved it immensely. But, like, that's what I mean. It's like, everything about, like, this is a Wonder Woman movie that has almost nothing about Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman.
That poor guy woke up like missing 5 days, got fired from his job for not showing up.
Wife
Like,
wants a divorce.
his life's all fucked up.
Came home smelling like Diana. Listen. Listen. It took an hour and a half for that heifer to show up. It took an hour and a half for me to see Wonder Woman in my Wonder Woman movie. I was not happy.
And that's the thing, is like, you don't have, like, you have 4 characters you have to develop stories for, and the one you don't do anything with is Wonder Woman. It's like, could have just cut out Steve Trevor, and it would have made so much more sense to, like, if you have this whole monkey's paw aspect of the wishing rock, right? Where it's like, Barbara says, I want to be like Wonder Woman, instead of being like Diana, a woman she had brunch with once.
Right.
Like, if Barbara would have just been in that mall scene and she saw Wonder Woman and she'd be like, oh shit, like I wish I were like her. And then like she gets the chance to wish that. And then you have her go like taking Diana's powers. That's why Diana's losing her powers, because Barbara wished for them. You know, like, and then you have a connection between those two characters instead of them wishing for separate things and this one poor guy's life. You know, and then
and how he know how to fly that plane?
I mean, that's just like movie science. He's like, he knew how to fly a plane before. Of course, he can fly a new one.
Listen, I absolutely fucking forgot how long ago the first movie was. I'm sorry, the World War I, right? Yes.
Yeah, it's like 65 years.
Yeah. I forgot
Back
the
then,
numbers
that
of
had
it.
2 buttons.
I forgot the numbers of it. So there was like a part of me that was thinking he was from like the 50s. So when he was like flipping out over like Pop-Tarts, I was like, nigga, you had pie before. It's basically pie. Shut up. But then I remembered like exactly how long ago he died, and I was like, "Oh, never mind." But then I was like, "How he know how to fly that plane?" Then? They have nothing like that back then.
Speaking of numbers, like this idea that Diana, you know, Wonder Woman is prepared to give up being herself
for him,
for this guy that she knew for like a week 65 years ago.
Looking like she
it's
do.
Just like,
looking like she do.
What?
Like, and you know what I'm saying? Like, you mean to tell me she ain't found nobody since then? Come on.
And that's the thing, is like, if you don't have Steve Trevor, you don't try to shoehorn him in, which I want to say, like, Chris Pine, I thought did a fine job, but like, why the fuck is he there? And like, if you don't try to put him in, then you can instead have Maxwell Lord, you know, seduced, quote unquote, Wonder Woman, you know, Diana. And then like, at least then that has her having some connection to this character at all, instead of just her being like Wonder Woman and him being Maxwell Lord, and like, oh, we just happen to be on opposite sides. Like, they don't have any connection. Like, he seduces Barbara
for no reason.
So it becomes a story between him and Barbara.
Yeah, for no reason. Like, that didn't have to happen. Like, the thing wasn't under like lock and key, and she ended up giving it to him. So what the fuck was that about? The whole movie was dumb. I'm sorry. Anyway, what else did you watch?
Did you say One Night in Miami? Let's talk about that one.
That movie was so... Donnie didn't watch it, so I can't.
You can talk about it.
It is really good.
It is very good, yeah. God, I love that movie. So
yeah,
it's
like...
I'm sorry.
Oh, you go ahead.
I was just going to, in case people don't know, it's on Amazon Prime. It is Regina King's directorial debut. It is based off of a stage play, I think by the same name. And it's about a fictional night between Jim Brown, Sam Cooke, Malcolm X, and Cassius Clay right before he became Muhammad Ali. In 19 64?
1964. February 1964.
Which would be like a year before Malcolm X was assassinated and like
9 months before Sam Cooke
before.
died.
Yeah, yeah. That whole story is wild.
Yeah. It's very similar to this, except it ends differently.
Wait, how so?
Because it takes place at a motel.
Oh. I thought you were talking about like the scene at the other hotel with his woman in the beginning.
Oh, no. Yeah, like this movie, like it's so well everything. You know, like it's everything is done well. And so like it's starting like with, like you said, it's based on a stage play and written by Kemp Powers, and he also wrote the screenplay for the movie. And like it's so like the story structure is so good because you like every character is allowed, you know, space to shine. Yep. And you develop these characters in such a way that you know them. Like you don't, like it doesn't have to be Muhammad Ali, Malcolm X, Sam Cooke, and Jim Brown. This could be any four guys, and this movie establishes who they are so well that by the end of it, like you feel everything about it, you know, like and yeah, and obviously like Regina King's directing was really good. Like the way that she was able to expand the world of the stage play to like to kind of address issues that people have had with like I watched Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, which is also a very good movie. Lots of good fucking acting in that movie. But like similar to Fences, which is another August Wilson adaptation that was directed by Denzel Washington. Like some people like talk about like their frustrations with Ma Rainey's Black Bottom is sort of like you can feel it as a stage play, like like because it's kind of like it's just one location, and there's like a set piece in Ma Rainey's Black. I don't know if y'all have seen it, but there's one set piece. There's one set piece in the beginning that takes place at a different location, and then the rest of it is basically at this recording studio. And so like, and it does feel very confined. But I feel like it was also really well directed and it was really good. But like some people had a problem with that. And I feel like in One Night in Miami, Regina King was able to expand it in such a way that like obviously it still feels like a stage play because it is one location and it's a heavy dialogue. But it is also like you have these characters leaving this space. Yeah. You have them, you know, going to another place. You have like 2 boxing matches. You have the opening scene where Jim Brown is, you know, visiting his old coach.
Yeah. I like the way they set it up too, that it was like the beginning, it was like establishing where these like well-known, I don't think anybody going into this movie didn't know who these men were, but it was nice that they established not only where they were in their lives and careers at this time, but also like where the country was and how Black people were being treated, what we were fighting for. And so you get like the inner turmoil in the Nation of Islam. You get Muhammad Ali getting pushback from being friendly with Malcolm X, plus the eve of his big fight with Sonny Liston, what was I saying?
Yep.
And all of that, and then you get this the scene with that's not Beau Bridges. Which one is that?
I think it is Beau Bridges.
Is it Beau? Who's the one who was diagnosed with cancer? Jeff. Okay, so yes, that was Beau. Okay, with Beau Bridges, where there's like this scene, Donnie, where he's that's my dog. I have a dog. That's my baby. Why is my baby crying?
Kaylee's over here playing with him.
Oh.
I'm trying to pick him up.
Oh. Is he going? What time is it?
8:30. He's going to bed.
Yeah, but he goes out again.
No, at 10:30.
Okay. Tell her to bring him to me before she puts him in the crate.
Tommy wants to see him first.
Anyway, so like I heard him growling. Did she finally pick him up? He does like this little growl thing when he doesn't want to do.
And then he settles in.
Him do. And then so it's the cutest thing because we just learned to ignore it. And it's funny watching when Kaylee does it because she'll go to pick him up if he doesn't want to stop doing whatever it is she's going to pick him up, stop him from doing. He just goes, and she goes, okay. yeah. And then he just forgets about it. He's so cute. But anyway,
then he just stops you.
Yeah, and he's just a baby again. But yeah, like I like that establishing and then like their time together, and then I like how you see how that changed them, afterwards. Hi, baby. Hi. Hi, Tink Tink. Oh, you want to say hi? Want to say hi? Say hello. Want to say hi? Okay, bye-bye. See you later. What? Oh, I love you. Okay, bye. Donnie, we got to cut them nails.
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to... This dog is going to kill us.
You're going to be taking them for walks nonstop to cut the files.
Yeah, Kat was like, some people do with their puppies is like walk them on concrete because it kind of naturally files down the nails. But we haven't taken him on like those types of walks yet because of he has to get his vaccines on Sunday. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I did like that structure of it all. Even though it was fictitious, that actual encounter, I did like the insertion of the very real world things that were going on in each of their lives, with Jim Brown about to embark on his acting career. And again, with Ali announcing that he was joining the Nation of Islam and changing his name. So, yeah, it was really good. Yeah. And Leslie Odom Jr. as Sam Cooke was fantastic.
Yes, he's remarkable. I think, like, number one, like, I think everything in this is plausible. Like you said, it's a fictional...
evening.
I feel like they wasn't it like that this did happen, we just don't know what happened in the room.
That is possible. That's that was my original understanding when I heard about this movie, like the first that I heard of it, which whether it was when it was cast, whatever, but the very first I heard of this story, that's what I thought it was. And then the movie dropped and I watched it either the next day or something, and something I read, the way it was worded, it made me think that everything was fictional. Obviously not everything because they really existed, but you know what I mean. And so that's how I came away after watching the movie, just something about the way it was worded in that one article. But that was my original thought, what you said, that that night, because that's a big night. So that's the kind of thing where that would make sense, that they would be there and in town for that.
Yeah, I mean, because presumably it's known that they were all at that fight. Yeah. And so, I think what happened is they were in the room together. We just there's no record of what happened.
Yeah.
And the part of that's fictional is, all the conversations and stuff.
Right.
And so, so it's all plausible. Like you said, it makes sense that, because Jim Brown was about to become an actor. Mm-hmm. Like he had just filmed his first movie. So it makes sense that he would talk about that. It makes sense that they would talk about everything that they talk about. Mm-hmm. And I think in terms of the performances, I think, like you said, Leslie Odom Jr. is so good, but all of them, all the performances are so deliberate. It's like they all are so comfortable in their characters, in these roles that they're playing. I should say, not characters because they're people, but they're so comfortable that it just feels like they know, everything that they're saying is natural. You know what I mean? It just feels natural. And I chalk that up, to the writing and the directing. Yeah. And I think the cinematography was so good, the set design,
and the music. My God, I totally off the top of your head, or do you have it open? The guy who played Malcolm X.
Something a deer.
But we'd seen him, Donnie. He's the guy from the OA in the final season. The cop investigator, the black guy. Do you remember, Donnie?
I don't remember.
The guy who helped her. It turns out he's her brother or something, right? Or They kind of like Ben Adir. Yeah.
Yeah,
I can't think of what he looks like.
Yeah, he was great. Like Eli Gorey was great as Muhammad Ali, Aldous Hodge as Jim Brown, and Leslie. Like the performance that Leslie Odom Jr. gives of that of A Change is Gonna Come on the Tonight Show, like that like the movie was really good, like right up to that point, but then like when you get to that and that performance and the way that it was laid over top of everything else, like the the epilogue of the movie, it was so impactful, and that's what I mean is like it's like you can go into the movie knowing everything about all these people, and it does like it adds to it, like knowing that Malcolm X was going to die a year later and all that, but like it's still like in this inner structure of the turmoil that they have between Sam Cooke and Malcolm X, and the fact that they have that conversation, and then to have the movie end with him, like you can see his trepidation about performing the song on TV,
on the Tonight Show of all,
but like you can also like you can tell like it's just the way that it's performed, and it's the way that Leslie Odom Jr. played it. Like you feel like it's like cathartic, it's that kind of thing. It's like it's one of those things that he wanted to do, but he was worried about doing it and that kind of stuff. And like apparently that performance did happen.
Yeah.
But like as far as I saw, like there's no footage of it. Like there's no footage of him performing that song on the Tonight Show,
because that did not air.
Well, I think what happened was they didn't, maybe they didn't air, and they didn't record it. But I feel like it. I feel like
was it? Wait a minute, is it live?
Yeah, I feel like they just didn't. At that point, they weren't recording the show.
Got it.
For like posterity, and so like all they have is like the timekeeper of the show who like noted that he performed it, and how long it took and all that, and so like just like to see it, it's a powerful moment. And I think just the thing that struck me about the movie was, and obviously the whole thing was very good, but I thought like when Malcolm X says to Sam Cooke, and I'm not going to be spoilery too much, but when he says to Sam Cooke, he's like, you're either on this side with us or you're on that side against us, and I was like, obviously in the context of the movie, that's two black men talking to each other, and so in that conversation I'm not there, but it was something like it did make me think of like the stuff we were talking about earlier about like where we are right now, and like we said, like it's February 1964, right? And my dad was born in December 1963, so he was 2 months old, and now he's 57, and it's like we're still there, you know what I mean? And it's and it's like, and it's kind of like it's been like 55 years since, it's coming up on 56, but it's technically still 55 years that Malcolm X was killed. And then, and you know what else is 55, right? It's 55 is the number of times 6 police officers fired at Willie McCoy as he was sleeping in his car, and they killed him. And that happened 2 years ago, coincidentally also in February. And you have just this past week, they announced that after a long investigation, they are not charging those 6 officers because it was found that them firing 55 times at a sleeping man in his car is legally justified. And that's what I think about, like our legal system Like our legal system, our justice system, our police system, it is it's built on the belief that whiteness is righteous and that blackness is an inherent threat, right? And so as long as you have racism and racist acts judged against that system, like it's always like a police officer or six six police officers killing any black person is always going to be legally justified. And I feel like that, for me, like that's the line, that's that we talk about, the dividing line. You talk about, like earlier, you're talking about like how Republicans are like, oh, we don't want to be divisive and convict a criminal of for the crimes that he committed because other criminals happen to like this criminal. And I'm so tired of Republicans getting to dictate the discourse that around, everything or anything. And like they dictate how we talk about abortion and how we talk about immigration, gun control. They can't talk about this. They can't dictate this where we are not divided. We are united against white supremacy. And I think like if you are not united against white supremacy, we're united against you, because you're either on that side against us or you're on this side with us. And that's, anyway, the movie's good. It's a good movie. My point is it's a good movie.
It's a very good movie, I thought. So this is really interesting because I think we have shot the shit for like 2 hours and we still have to talk about WandaVision, but I don't really know what to say about WandaVision other than
Good.
For me, it's fine. It's fine. I enjoyed it. I was entertained. That's literally all I have. I don't know that I have a deep desire to discuss the show as it stands now. Like, I feel like I need a little more.
Right. Yeah. That's the thing.
Does that make sense?
What was that?
I was gonna say, does that make sense? Like, I feel like
no, definitely.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like if they had dropped the first 4 episodes, I'd have a lot more to say. Hopefully, But like right now, it's kind of like, okay, yeah, I don't know. Just like,
and that's the thing. Like, after we watched it and seeing all the stuff that's been on the internet since they've come out, is
I've seen
there's so much mystery behind the 2 episodes that there is a million theories of who's behind it, what's going on, and it's like I'm reading, like I can't tell you how many theories I've read of who the villain is and what they're doing and what's going on and stuff like that. There's not enough yet, and it's just it's kind of gets annoying to read all these different theories. It's like you know what, let's just sit down. Let's watch a little bit more and then let it evolve into something that it's trying to evolve to. But right now it's entertaining, but there's too much. There is a lot of mystery to it.
So like it starts like what we saw from like the trailers. Like it was very mysterious and quirky, kind of like the Loki trailers, right? Where it's like, what exactly has these characters gotten themselves into, and why is this shot this way, and why does it look this way, why is Vision alive? And what people were hoping, given what we know about the upcoming Doctor Strange movie and how the character of Wanda is in that, and then obviously what we know of what happened in Endgame and the movie prior, which was what? Infinity War. Jesus. With Vision.
Or I guess Captain Marvel. Is between
No. I meant in terms of Vision.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. I didn't know if you heard that part. In terms of Vision, what happened in those films, and then if you whatever you may know from the comic books, that's what you can kind of speculate. I think that's where you can kind of get the best speculation. But like you said, it's still so early that I guess it's like at that too much speculation stage. But before we go much further, I just quickly want to say that the premise so far of the show seems to be Wanda and Vision living in this suburban neighborhood, posing as like ordinary people. And it's shot like a 1950s, 60s sitcom like I Love Lucy or Bewitched. And there's very clearly something else going on. There's little signs throughout the first 2 episodes that obviously something is not quite right. That's basically the premise so far. And the comic book storyline, I think that people are most sure this ties into or this represents is the House of M, which is I think Bendis wrote that, right? Was Bendis like the main writer on that? I think it was. And it's like one of those, again, for those who maybe are not very familiar with comic book structures, but we've talked about this before in the past with things like Spider-Verse and stuff, where it's like this event and it's a crossover event. So you'll have...
it was Bendis.
It was Bendis. Okay. So you'll have House of M, I think it was like 5 or 6 issues, this storyline. And then the other comics that were going on at the time that had characters who were involved in this kind of, special crossover storyline, their series would have a few issues that kind of broke away from whatever story they were telling to deal with this. And in it, I don't remember like the specifics of what her issue was exactly, but like Wanda was not in control, I think, of her powers. And I think it might have been like she was grieving the loss of her children. Twins, if I'm not mistaken. And because of her abilities to like create realities, change realities, things like that, she was like posing like a big threat. And I think the Avengers and the X-Men were debating like what to do with her. And I think 2 characters suggested that, if we can't get her to stop, because she's in like some sort of coma or something, I don't know. If we can't get her to stop, we may have to kill her. And it's already established, this is separate from the movies, obviously, because we haven't had the X-Men in the Marvel Universe yet, that Magneto is her father and Quicksilver's father, right? And so Quicksilver goes to where Magneto is with Wanda, and he's like, they're going to kill her. He overheard that part and he ran with it or something like that. And in whatever, like, then everything kind of changes and this new reality is created in which mutants are superior. They outnumber humans. And so the main part of that storyline is this alternate world that you think she has created, in which her children are alive, and some other stuff. So that's as far as I'll go. Like, I don't want to say how it ends or anything like that. And I don't know too much about some of the other stuff that was dropped in these episodes, but that's as far as I'll go because I don't know what they're going to do the same or different. I definitely don't want to talk about the end.
Yeah, I think the end, obviously not saying what it is, but it would be very hard for them to do that, I'll just say. Right?
Yeah.
Because, you know why.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so I don't know what else to say about House of M except for that.
Yeah. But so the show, it happened. I really don't have anything to say about it, and I feel bad about that.
Well, the thing about, I think that this show, like, this is a very interesting TV show in that, like I was thinking about like The Mandalorian, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Mandalorian is ostensibly a Star Wars show. However, you can just walk into The Mandalorian and you're fine. Like, you don't have to have watched anything else to be like, yeah, I understand exactly
Mm-hmm.
what's going on here.
Right.
You start watching this show and you're like, what the? I'm watching fucking I Love Lucy? Like, because that's what it feels like. So, like, I think this is Marvel. Marvel is taking full advantage of the fact that they have a captive audience.
Yes.
That they have someone like we know the history of the Marvel Cinematic Universe,
Mm-hmm.
and they know that we know.
Yeah.
Like, they know that the people watching this show are not watching it, and it's their first thing Marvel they've ever seen.
Right.
And so they're taking full advantage of that by like dropping you right in the middle of some shit that makes no sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, if you had no idea what the fuck this was, you'd be out in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Because it's just I Love Lucy, but like a worse I Love Lucy. Like, in terms of comedy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, it's just like, I think that's intriguing, the fact that they are doing that and they've just committed fully to this concept of, all right, well, each episode is going to represent a decade of television, and and we're going to have these two characters just kind of move in. They don't even know who the fuck they are. They have no idea of their backstory. They're just kind of making it up as they go along, and like, you're just there with them.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, I would be so interested to know, like, if anyone exists who isn't aware of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and is also watching this show, because like, I don't know, like,
You're like, and what are you smoking?
I don't know what you could possibly get,
Mm-hmm.
but like, it is very interesting to think about, and like, and so that's the thing that is intriguing to me about this show. Like, honestly, if this would have just been a show, like, if it weren't Marvel, I would not watch this show.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, that's the other thing I was gonna say. Like, you know how we've talked about how I've kind of tapped out of certain genres of television?
Yes.
Like, this is... If
All
this wasn't right, this is all the ones I've tapped out of. And if this wasn't Marvel, I would be so out. And it feels like it would be, if it's not Marvel, this would be kind of like Pushing Daisies, maybe. Wherein, you know, the same stuff is going on. Like, there's this weird, you know, android looking guy or robot guy, and he's hiding, pretending to be human, and you're piecing it along, and it's like, but somebody's talking to her. Is she really unconscious? Like, all that stuff. Like,
almost
but
like
not... Yeah, I was just gonna say, but it's not Marvel. It would, if it's playing like comedy like this, it feels like it would be Pushing Daisies. But if they were still trying to make it kind of serious and feel like there's something sinister, it feels like you said, Wayward Pines. As it stands now, it feels like a Great Value Legion.
It does, doesn't it? That makes a lot of sense. And I mean that,
and I don't mean that as an insult.
That does make a lot of sense, because they're both mutant related.
Yeah. It feels like they're, you know, and here's the thing. I appreciate this. It may not be for me, but I appreciate it because, you know, I'm sticking to what I said when we talked about the and that's what you may be thinking of, Donnie, when we talked about the Disney call. That this feels like an opportunity in terms of what they're doing on Disney Plus with the Marvel content and the Star Wars content, to do that thing that Marvel did with their cinematic universe, where they recognize that they have all these different characters within their franchise that they could make different genre type films. And so you have like that, you know, I just learned about a genre of film the other day, and I did not realize that it was a thing, and now I'm drawing a blank. I feel like it has to do with space. Okay, well, maybe space opera, because that's what Star Wars is considered, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the term, space operas? Maybe that's what I'm thinking. So now I wouldn't say Guardians of the Galaxy is that. But you know what I mean? Like, Guardians of the Galaxy was that first one that just felt really different from the others. And then now you have thank you, Kaylee. You have the Doctor Strange film, which is going to be a horror film. You see what they did with Thor, which is excellent. Even though I think Taiki, is that how you say his name?
Taika.
Even though he's doing the next one, right? Love and Rockets.
Yeah, they're filming it right now.
Okay.
Yeah, Love and
I was just
Thunder.
wondering if it would have a different feel, because that's something they could even do with the Thor movies if they wanted. Like, all his different adventures, they could just have different feels to them. But like, Ragnarok was such, even that was like different than anything we've seen. So I'm not knocking it for that. Like, I don't want it to be something more my taste, I guess. Like, I'm happy that this is different, and I'm happy that so many people really like it way more than I do, like in our group, because we have been starved for, good TV and stuff. And I miss like live chatting with folks. So I'm in, and I'm still like down to like hook up to talk about it. But it just, it was what it was. It was just, it's interesting.
Are you there?
John? Yeah,
here.
we're here. Go ahead.
Sorry. I thought you I interrupted you. Anyway, sorry. I think this is a perfect example of where Disney needs to get out of their own way. And by that I mean like it's Disney and like they don't give a shit. But like, cuz they're winning anything.
Mm-hmm.
But what I mean is like, this is a show that should have been all dropped at one time. Because it has an overarching theme where you're jumping from like, oh, this is the 50s, this is the 60s, 70s. Like, it has that. And so like, if you have that shit, like, you absolutely want everybody to binge it. Yeah. Because it adds to it so much.
I'm so glad you said that. Because I was absolutely
wait until March to get to conclusion.
Right, because when you thought you had cut me off, what I was going to say was that maybe we let a couple of episodes build up and then talk about it, because I just can't imagine there would be anything to talk about of 20 minutes of this unless something big happens.
It's a 30-minute episode. There better not be.
I mean, that's the thing, is like, we could almost just wait for the season to end, honestly, because like, watching this week to week, it's not going to be as satisfying as watching it all at one time.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not. Like, it's not. It's because it's like I said, it has the overarching structure that you're not going to appreciate if like, oh, last week I saw the 60s, this week I'm watching the 70s. It's just like,
and that's exactly what it was, right? Like, the 2 episodes, they were different.
Yeah, they were. And I told you the furniture and stuff was different.
Because Donnie was like, that's a different house. And I was like, no, it ain't. Yeah, but I wasn't really like invested, so I really shouldn't have been arguing with anybody.
I mean, that's the thing, is like, it feels like that's the part of it that feels so interesting, is that they are fully going for like.
So do you think every episode is going to be a different decade?
Yeah, I mean, presumably it's going to be like they're just going to recreate different sitcoms from different eras, and
because what I think you can do with something like when they go into the 70s, you could do something a little bit. I mean, for that time it was risque, like Three's Company type vibe. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's the difference in how watching like the evolution of TV sitcoms. But go ahead.
And that's the thing, is like, when you have this premise that is like, I don't know exactly what the fuck's going on. You know what I mean?
Right.
But like, what we do know, right, is that Vision died. And we know what Wanda's powers are. Right.
Which seem to be like a lot. A lot of powerful shit that, it could change. Like, yeah, she's very powerful.
Yeah, exactly. And so, like, we know those things. And then, like you said, you mentioned House of M. If you know that part of it, And then like so the assumption would be like either she has created this universe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which I mean,
And it's pretty much confirmed at the end. It's pretty much confirmed at the end of that second episode where she doesn't like seeing that beekeeper come out of the sewer, and she's like, "Nope, not doing this."
You're right.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's so like, but at the same time, like we know, but from the end of the first episode, that someone's watching.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like you don't know if she's completely in control,
Right.
especially with the voice coming through the radio, who's like, "Who's doing this to you, Wanda?"
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So
Somebody trying to pull her out or help her.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and I don't know what the fuck that voice, like, who was that?
Donnie
I
knows.
assume it was someone we know.
Yeah,
Like,
I know who it is. I just don't. I don't want. Neither didn't want me to say.
No, I don't. You could say.
Yeah, go ahead and say.
It's he's from Ant-Man 2. He was part of the Shield.
He's Asian, right?
Yes, the guy.
That makes sense.
So you know who it is.
I really thought he was gonna be like that motherfucker. I was like,
Son of
where
a
is he
bitch.
going with this? I suddenly got very interested in this show.
I don't want to watch this show anymore. That guy?
I was like, tell me more about this motherfucker. I'm interested now. You got my attention.
But his name is in the credits.
Do we hate him?
Yes.
And so, like, I was like, why the fuck was that guy's name there?
And you didn't piece it together? That's the voice?
No, I didn't. Because, like, I didn't really think about it that hard.
Yeah.
But that's, so, like, that's the big question. Is, like, how in control is she? And if she's not in control, who's the other person?
Mm-hmm.
And like those are the big questions, and the rest of it is just gravy. Like the whole like magic act that they put on in the second episode, like that means fucking nothing, like at all. But it's like it's fun to watch while you're getting around to the interesting thing.
Yeah.
And like the whole gum. He swallowed the gum. And
yeah, it was so silly. I will say that there were a few times that I laughed out loud and I was pleasantly surprised. Because this is just not my shit. Yeah, I think I need to like watch it, a bunch of it, and we come back at the end. Because it's just not my jam as it stands now. Something could change. Like, they hit the 80s and suddenly it's like, WandaVision meets Miami Vice. I don't know.
That would be wild.
Yes.
Right?
Amazing.
That would be fucking amazing. Then I might come back that Monday to talk about that shit.
Then they get to the 90s and it's 90210 style.
But the thing
the 2000s would be like a criminal procedural, like a CSI, Law and Order. I'm sorry. Go ahead, John. Sorry.
House.
Yeah.
But like it also reminds me. You guys remember that movie with John Ritter? It's called Stay Tuned.
Yes, I like that movie.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, they get stuck in the TV.
Yeah, they
I'm
get stuck
such an
into the
asshole because John was like, "Have you guys ever seen that movie with John Ritter?" And I was like anybody knows a John Ritter. John's like, me, my favorite movie ever.
John Ritter's been in a few movies. He was.
And then John was like, "Yes, it's such a good movie," and I was like, "I'll just shut up now."
Stay Tuned is a
Yes.
good.
I don't even know what the fuck you guys are talking about.
Stay Tuned is a movie like it's very campy, where John Ritter is like, I need television, and then he's like, I would do anything for TV, and then the fucking devil shows up at his door as a salesman, and he's like, I've got the satellite dish for you.
What is this? Is the devil Southern?
I mean, that's my voice.
Oh, okay.
Don't you need the Devils down south?
Yeah,
it felt like he got extra Southern. I don't know. Go ahead.
I say, son.
Yes, exactly. I was like, so Foghorn Leghorn is the devil. Go ahead.
Well, he is. But no, he shows up. He's not obviously the devil. He's disguised, and he gets John Ritter to sell his soul for this TV. And then he like as like the TV malfunctions, the satellite malfunctions, and he goes outside to like fix it,
Mm-hmm.
and it like shoots a beam at him and gets sucked into the satellite. And then what happens is he and his wife they both get sucked in, and they end up going through different like genres of TV. Like there's like a game show, and there's like a cartoon at one point, like Tom and Jerry kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And but it's all like TV shows that are trying to kill them. So like they're having to try and survive and escape the TV, and it's really interesting. It's I like it a lot. I think it's a good movie, but it's one of those kind of movies. Anyway, but like this kind of feels similar to that, where like they're kind of bouncing through genres of TV, except for this is like one genre, but like different eras. And I think it's cool. I think it's really also Pleasantville.
Yeah. There's I can see that. I like this Olsen chick.
No, I do too.
Yeah. She's good.
That's the one thing I noticed. Like, she can play the hell out of like this role.
She's a good actress.
She's a good actress. But
she's a good actress.
She does the hell of a job.
I saw.
Both of them do.
I never watched it, and then I was looking up somebody on IMDb, and it was a black guy, and like we were looking like, oh, what have I seen him in recently? And one of the things he was in, I was like, I think I know what that is. I never seen it, but do you remember when Facebook Watch first came out? Like they started putting like original content on there. There was like a TV show, a show that they had, and she's the main actress. And I think the reason I didn't watch it is just about grief, and I think she loses her husband, and I wasn't ready because go ahead.
Sorry for your loss is the name of it.
Yes. So, and I remember whoever I was looking up, I was like, oh, I think he plays her husband, or he plays the guy like that. Yeah, that's him. Giovanna Depo, his fine ass. Kelly Marie Tran's in it too. But anyway, Jovan is Michael on The Leftovers, Regina King's son, and then he later played in Watchmen. He played her great grandfather or her grandfather. Oh, yeah, her grandfather. Yeah. And now he's on The Stand. So I was looking him up to see what stuff he's done, because I'm like, God, every time I see him in something, I really like him in it. And then I was like, oh, I wonder if he plays her new boyfriend or something like that. But I remember seeing clips of that and being just like impressed just in those little clips that I saw, like the trailer or whatever. So anyway, which one is she? Ashley? No, that's not her name. What's her name?
Elizabeth?
Thank you. Good God. Elizabeth Olsen.
Yeah, she's actually a good actress.
Yeah, I don't know what the mother, those two.
I mean, they're good businesswomen. I mean, they got a lot of money. At least is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Oh, I did like. Also, I thought Paul Bettany. I think he has great comedic timing, but it's really hard for me to kind of like see past his text messages with Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Like, there's a part of me that's like, how would you have responded if, I mean, I say some shit, my mouth.
How else would you say something?
But you know how my mouth can be. I can say some really horrible shit when I'm upset.
True.
And I'm like, I don't know. How would you respond if I sent you a text about Donnie and I was just like, oh, she fucking slit his throat and then fuck his corpse? Like, what would you say?
Get some therapy.
Well, Paul Bettany didn't say that. He was like, yeah.
Yeah, man.
And then set her on fire.
I wasn't going to say anything, but like now you said it. Yeah.
That's exactly what I want to do too. Wait, what? So like, so there's a part of me, it's like, you know, trying to give him the benefit of the doubt is like, if this is just your crazy fucking friend and this is just what he does, and you're just like, yeah, man, you tell her, you know, like,
Yeah,
but
when somebody says something like, "Yeah, well, I'm gonna go."
right, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I'm just thinking, if that's just how your crazy friend is, then maybe yeah, you blow this shit off. But like, it just sounded like he's that type of person too, and I don't know. But I will begrudgingly say I thought he had great comedic timing in this.
He's very British.
Oh, he's like Benedict Cumberbatch. He's so fucking British.
It's very like the way he played, especially
That made sense in my head, by the way.
No, it tracks.
It tracks, got it.
But like the way he played the magic act, like that was so like Blackadder or something.
Yeah, I see it.
It was like very like British comedy, and not like modern British comedy, but like 90s British comedy. And like, I mean, it worked.
What is the black woman is Geraldine? Is that the Rambeau girl? Okay,
That's the daughter. Yeah.
Is that Teyana Parrish? Is that her name?
Yeah.
Okay. I gotta look up some more stuff. Well, this is so embarrassing to say as a black woman, but I feel like I'm getting her and another black actress mixed up. Also, Nia DaCosta, is that her name? That's directing Captain Marvel 2?
Yeah, she's a fantastic director.
Was she an actress first? Or am I mixing her name up with someone else? I just think she has a name like someone else that someone I know from like acting or modeling, and so it always throws me off, like in a good way. I'm super happy for her because I'm like, oh, she made it, but I think I'm just like, how'd she go from America's Next Top Model to this?
No, she wasn't an actress.
Okay, yeah, I think I'm getting her mixed up with like.
Have you seen Little Woods, the movie she directed?
No.
It's really good. It's a really.
Is that
good
the
movie.
one Tessa Thompson?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, I'll check it out. I think it might be on what's in my queue because that's on Amazon too, right?
I think so. I believe so. Yes.
Who did Tessa Thompson just sign a production deal with? Is it Amazon? I feel like she's been on Amazon a lot lately.
Yeah, I mean, she did Sylvie's Love for them. She also did, though, Lady and the Tramp for Disney. So,
who?
Tessa Thompson.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, that's who we were talking about.
I didn't know Nia DaCosta, so I didn't know what the fuck you were talking about.
Jesus.
And what did she do? She like did a voice for it. Is what you mean?
Yeah, she was Lady.
I didn't know that. When did they redo Lady and the Tramp?
It was like one of the launching titles of Disney Plus.
Like a redo or like one of those. Remember when they were doing like Cinderella 4? Remember that?
I mean, some of those
now they
sequels
do all
are good.
these live action.
John,
Some of those
you're not about to
sequels
get
are
up here and defend Dumbo 3.
No, I mean, not Dumbo 3, but like, shit. Like, Tront's New Groove is good, goddammit.
What's that, Emperor's New Clothes?
Emperor's New Groove was the one that came out.
And who was the second one?
Kronk. Kronk is he's one of the characters in the first one.
Is it Gronkowski?
No, but like I made that comparison like 5 years ago or something because he looks exactly like that fucking character.
That's it.
But it's a Patrick Warburton character.
Okay.
But yeah.
That's the chin guy.
Yeah, he has a chin.
No, isn't he in a show about a guy with a really big chin? The Tick.
Yeah, he was in the live action Tick.
He has a really big chin.
Not the Amazon one, but
that's not what he's about.
Well, I thought it was called The Chin for a second. I'm high.
The Chin.
I think Crimson Chin is a character like on Fairly Odd Parents or something.
Do you remember? When we like kind of first became friends? Not like
Not at all.
What?
Not at all.
Not like the first, like MySpace first, Pointless Banner first, but like here on Facebook, when we start like watching TV and stuff together.
Here on
What?
Facebook.
Real friendship.
That's
Facebook
where we are
friendship.
right now.
Friendship
is on
that
Facebook.
counts.
Yes, Facebook is my life. Oh my God, shut up. I'm trying to say something.
You realize we're not on Facebook right now, right?
Yes, but you know what I mean? The people listening are. I know them through Facebook. It makes sense in my head.
Hey.
So what were you saying?
I don't fucking remember.
You first became friends on Facebook.
Oh, right. One of the first shows we start watching TV together. Do you guys remember that show we watched? It was like a superhero show. It was really bad, but we were super excited about it. And then it wasn't good. The Cape?
Cape. Yeah, was
that
it?
That's what. So
We
when
had
you said
good
the chin,
reason to be
huh?
upset. What?
No. So anyway, I just thought of it because we were talking about the chin, the Cape.
Mm-hmm. That was 2011.
Oh my God. 10 years. You know what's funny? We were just talking about... Oh, I looked at Megan's wall the other day. Yesterday, maybe? Yes, yesterday or Saturday. We'll know the exact date in a minute. It's important to the story. I was looking at her wall, and I was looking at like her posts, and one of her last posts was we were talking about The Strain, and she had found like this meme when we had finally seen the Master. Remember the first Master? How bad he looked. Like you said, he looked like a basketball player. Do you remember?
Yeah, I don't remember which basketball player.
Yeah, I can't think of his name. Who is Newt
Oh,
Bull?
fucking Popeye Jones.
Popeye Jones. Who's Newt Bull? What the fuck? Where did I pull that out of?
Manute Bol.
What's that?
He's a
He is a
basketball.
basketball player.
Oh,
Well,
said
he's
Newt.
not anymore.
Oh.
His son is, though. I believe it's his son. Bol.
Does he look anything like the Master?
No, he's
Oh,
very
okay.
tall with very skinny legs.
And not long fangs and talons.
No, not like
but
Popeye.
Popeye Jones. Is that his name?
Yeah.
You said that. That's back when you used to say mean stuff about people on the podcast.
I didn't think he was mean. He
You
was
said
lying.
Popeye Jones looks like the most ancient evil Nazi vampire.
No.
The Master. But anyway, what the fuck was I saying? Oh, the fucking... Oh, I was looking at Megan's wall. So she had this meme, and she had tagged us in it, and saying like what he looked like. And our friend Rayanne commented, and she was like, or Phil Spector. And it was the day Phil Spector died. So what was that, yesterday or Saturday?
I
It was
don't.
yesterday.
John is like, Phil Spector died? Wait.
Oh, no.
John is like, who's Phil Spector? But you know who Phil Spector is, right?
How could you let me find out like this?
I'm sorry.
Yes, I know who he is. Yes.
Who he was. Did you see the
A
headline?
murderer.
Did you see one of the headlines for him when he died?
Flawed or something like that.
Yeah, brilliant but flawed music producer dies at the age of 8. I was like, he killed a woman, you idiot. Anyway,
Check,
so
check Facebook.
Hmm?
Check Facebook Messenger.
Okay. So, the fuck was that? Why are you cackling? Hold on.
Okay. Just gonna fill some time.
You're terrible. Oh, he does look like him now. Oh, man. And then his name is Popeye. That don't help. So anyway, WandaVision, what else? So, for the children, them chanting that, is she, and then by the end of the episode, she's pregnant. So is that why she's doing this? Because like I said, in the comic book, I think she goes kind of insane because she loses her children. But how could she be pregnant? In now, like in WandaVision.
She's Scarlet Witch. She can do anything she wants.
This is so fucking true. How you go? You just make yourself some baby. If you're gonna do that, why be pregnant? Just make babies. I wish. Wait a second. Yeah. Wait a fucking second. If I can do that, you think I'm gonna get fat and get stretch marks and shit? No.
Well, she can get rid of all that.
True. But then why go through 9 and then have to push him out? So wait. Does she carry them and then just levitate them out of her belly? She's like, I'm not pushing shit.
No. He just pulls them out.
Vision reaches in her stomach and pulls them out. Or does he reach up and pull them down?
No. That's vulgar.
That's actually how it's done sometimes. That's actually how it's done sometimes, John. But yeah, so like she creates her babies. Is that how she does it in the comic books?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, you know what came today? My Marvel Unlimited. Because apparently I still pay for that every year.
Oh.
That's like $100 a year.
You gotta cancel that.
Why? Then how else would my friends Lance and Kevin read comic books? Because they're the only people that have the password besides me.
You cancel it, like, what the fuck happened?
I'm like, at least somebody's using it. No, but I'm gonna Kimberly actually helped me out. Hey, Kimberly. She was like, if you're interested in reading about Darth Vader, like from after Revenge of the Sith through, the beginning of Star Wars, you should check out like these series or whatever. And I was like, yeah, I definitely want to do that. And she's like, okay, I'll get back to you and I'll like give you a list of like where to start. Because I told her I went into the Marvel Unlimited and I did a search for Vader comics, and there's so many and there's so like covering so many years, and I was like, I don't even fucking know where to start. So she came up with the list for me and she sent it to me in my DM. She slid into my DMs with some Vader. And so I plan on doing that before the Obi-Wan show, before we cover that. I'm going to try to get caught up on my Vader lore. So yeah, I will be using it. And I did log in recently. And I remember thinking like, when does this renew? Because it used to be every October. Like the thing would come, I think, in October. So, but with COVID and stuff. But I was surprised that it came at all. All right, so what else were we talking about? The gum, the magic tricks. That is her, right? That is Monica. Oh, God. Mm-hmm. She's Monica. The mother is Maria? Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. So that is her. Why the name Geraldine? Should I? Or is it just like random?
I don't think anybody I think the people in this are real, but none of them are using their real names.
Okay, so then who do we think everyone is? Because this is actually really interesting to talk about now. I think about it because
before we go into that,
okay, good.
First, I don't think we're supposed to know that's Monica.
No, okay, I see.
Because like we just know because we know that she was cast as Monica Rambeau,
right?
But we're not like we're supposed to think she's just Geraldine. We're not supposed to know that she's not who she is.
So, but no, okay. So then, knowing that though, what we do know. Do we then think, because obviously people like the neighbor, the girl, because we haven't seen her husband yet, right?
Fred or whatever his name is.
Yeah, is she supposed to be the witch from? See, I don't remember from House of M, but I remember in the Vision series that Tom King wrote. That's his name, right? God, I hope I didn't fuck that up. Because he did a Batman that you like too, right?
He did. Yeah, he was. I believe so. But I didn't read it.
Oh, okay. I might be thinking Ryan, but anyway, Vision that series that I love, and we covered it on the Book Club podcast. In that, how that starts with the two of them living this suburban life with these like fake children and a dog and all that stuff. Like, there's a witch that dies and like comes back to life or something like that, and I think her name is similar, if not the same, as that neighbor. So I was thinking that's her, but then when like the boss starts choking, his name is Hart, right? Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, is that significant? Like, I'm trying to think, are there characters that we are supposed to suspect that they are, like, you know? Okay, because then you have the woman who, Emma Caulfield's character in the second episode, where she's like, I don't trust you, or something
Dottie.
like that. Like, why is Dottie? Why is she like that? Like, does that have any kind of link to who she is?
Yeah, that's
outside
that's
of this. If that makes, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, a lot of the theory articles that I read, that's there.
Because she looked really afraid at one point, right?
Who?
Dottie, right before
You
she
think she
broke
looked
the glass.
afraid?
Yeah, when she started off kind of like, when she was like, I don't trust you, or something like that. And then she asked her something specific. You know, she says, I don't want to hurt anyone, or something like that. And when it cut back to Dottie actually looked afraid. And then she was squeezing so hard she broke the glass.
Oh, yeah.
I thought.
But the other thing with her is that everybody was almost a robotic, like, around her.
What do you mean? Oh,
Dottie.
no, but I think that was just supposed to be kind of like that play on like the kind of toxic housewife clique thing where, you know, she's like,
Stepford
I mean,
yeah, Stepford Wives.
She is
like
the leader of them.
Yeah, she's
so
definitely the leader of that.
Yeah, so I think there's a lot to her. We just don't know yet.
And
the other thing was that we had talked about, or I brought up, was because they did the little commercials, and then the one commercial was the one guy that's stuck in the computers.
Strucker.
Yeah.
Strucker, yeah.
So like, okay, is this his world that he's somehow controlling?
Well, they did that thing with the first commercial with the toaster, and it turns out Stark Industries, and remember, it was like beeping.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like the bomb, remember the story about her, like why they hated Stark so much? Do you remember that, Donnie? Oh my God, he doesn't. How were you the one? I remember, it's so funny now I think about it. I picked up on this. You picked up on who Strucker was, because I didn't know who he was.
Right.
Donnie had to
just because I watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
That's right. But anyway, do you remember when she was talking about where she lived was attacked, and the missile, like, you know, all the houses and stuff around them, the buildings had been destroyed.
Yeah.
And there was it killed her family, and they just sat there waiting for it to explode, and it ended up, I think it was like a dud or something, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, but they sat there with that thing ticking, and that light flashing, and it just looked, you know, Stark Industries on the side of it. So it feels like those are, you know, connections to her, but I wonder if it's just a way, as a nod to let us know that this is something she's doing. So even the commercials that she's creating in this fake television show are still like related to her somehow, if that makes sense. But
and that's something like,
or they could be doing something where somebody is trying to extract information from her, and those are like moments of her recall memories.
Yeah, and that was something that I was thinking, like, I'm interested to see how, or if they even continue that when they go into like the 70s and the 80s, because like those commercials made sense in those old shows because they actually used to do that. But like they didn't do that shit in the 70s or the 80s or the 90s, you know. So
right, what do you mean didn't do? What do you mean?
The commercials.
But we did do commercials.
So, like, I could just see her Like, I can't even see her, but I can just imagine she's just,
I mean, like like in the 50s and maybe like into the 60s, they did live commercials. The way that they
okay,
kind
I
of
see.
play.
I was like,
here.
what is? I thought you were just saying commercials. Period. I'm like, does he think commercials stop? Like, cause of TiVo's? What is he talking about?
Yeah, commercials don't exist anymore. Don't you know
I
that?
did not know what the fuck you were getting at, and I'm like, that's why I wanted more information. Cause I was waiting for you to say like the commercials would change. It'd be like Mentos commercials, double
It's like the
mint.
1984 commercial.
Yeah. But
Microsoft or
yeah.
Apple.
But yeah, I like that Strucker one though, because I'm old. Okay, so that took me back because I remember commercials like that. Oh god.
Back in the 50s.
No, but like through the 60s, the 70s, where I was born, commercials were like that. Like those oh god, what were the perfume ones? Drawing a blank. Like Old Spice.
All right.
They still had that feel. Anybody my age knows exactly what I'm talking about. But anyway.
Standing at a counter.
What?
The way both of these commercials that we see in these episodes, they're like standing at a counter and speaking to the camera.
No, in the Strucker commercial, there was the woman getting ready. They were like in a bedroom with a mirror.
Oh, I didn't.
She was getting ready, like, and that's the thing. It was like a woman is like nice arm candy or some shit, and she's like putting on a fur or whatever, but you're not complete until she's like helping him into his jacket, and there's like a mirror, and it reveals the thing, and then it's a close up of the watch. That felt like an actual old school,
okay,
like cologne commercial or something like that. Am I wrong? That's not what happened. I could have sworn.
No, yeah, I mean, yeah, but
the first one,
I was only remembering the first.
Yeah. The first one is like what you're saying, absolutely, where it looks like a QVC show.
Yeah, that's the live ads they used to do.
Yeah. It looks like somebody doing the Home Shopping Network, where it's just like the product sitting there or whatever. Okay. See, y'all be trying to make me sound higher than I am. Over some miscommunications, y'all got these people thinking I am higher than I am. Had me nervous. Anyway.
No, I think that's just the paranoia.
Nah, now you gaslighting me.
No,
I can't wait till somebody comments on this. Like, no, the watch was at a counter.
Was it? There was a fucking full-length mirror. You're gonna make me pull that episode up.
But that's the way. Like, it just makes me look stupid. This one makes you look stupid. I just look stupid.
But so we'll see. I think we should probably come back to this when it's done. How many episodes is it?
9.
Have they announced that already?
Yeah, they said it was 9. It was supposed to originally be
just
many. 6 total as an hour each, but they split them into half-hour episodes.
Okay. That makes me hate it even more, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. 9. That's
8 weeks. That's what I'm saying. We won't get any resolution until March.
I mean, we only got 7 decades.
But they're split. And I get it. They're spreading it out because they want it not to be such a huge gap before we get to fucking Winter Soldier.
Yeah, but what John is saying, to John's point, like stretching it over, if they're going to stick with the decades theme,
right?
Like how they do that. But again, I think they could do different like styles of sitcom for a certain decade. You know what I'm saying? You could do something like a Love Boat and a Three's Company, or what'd you say?
I don't like that.
Why?
I don't, because like you establish a structure, and then you're like, no, we're just going to abandon it. It's like, well, why did you establish it?
How is this not the same structure if they're cycling through old school sitcoms through the decades? But you don't have like one type of sitcom in 10 years.
Well, because right now that is what they've done though, because like they did the 50s, and then they did the 60s, and now like they've got the color coming
Okay,
in.
quickly though, let me ask you, how much of a difference was it to you though?
Between the
Like,
50s and 60s?
Yeah,
The 2 episodes.
The 2 episodes. It felt like, I mean, there were certain differences, I think, if you are familiar with old school sitcoms and stuff, but like, and obviously if you've seen some, you get what shows that they're kind of, imitating, like Bewitched being the main one.
They both, yeah,
but, like,
they both reminded me a lot of Bewitched.
But Bewitched, I think specifically, but there was also a lot of I Love Lucy in there. There was a lot of Leave It to Beaver in there. So I'm just saying, like, I don't know why they couldn't do that, particularly if they keep it with all in the same neighborhood. So it's just like the architecture kind of changes, and obviously the clothing and stuff like that, and the hair and all of that. But like, it's different types of sitcoms. So if you have one where for whatever reason the fucking Neighborhood Watch or something like that does a charity cruise or something, and then it feels more like an episode of The Love Boat. I don't know. I think that could be kind of fun.
I mean, it could be fun, but like, I mean, I just feel like the structure's established. I feel like it's 50s, 60s, 70s, and it's like, and then we're gonna have 80s, 80s, 80s. Like, why would we do that? You know what I mean?
Okay. John want us in this white ass stay in these goddamn 50s, 60s, 70s. Come on, John.
What is that? How is that any?
It's always about race with you. Oh my God, is that what it feels like? When white people do it? Holy shit, that feels amazing.
Just for that, the next episode's gonna be the Jeffersons.
If Wanda has an afro, I'm fucking quitting everything. I swear to God, I will be like, y'all motherfuckers have learned nothing.
Oh God. I just want to see Vision with a perm.
Finger waves. But anyway, do we have feedback? Let me check this. What time is it? I gotta go to bed.
Get to the 90s, and Vision's gonna have the Seinfeld hair.
What's that?
Just that, like, Seinfeld hair.
Oh, like his actual, okay.
And then she's gonna have the Rachel.
You know what? I really, 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 really do think that that's what they're doing. I do think they're gonna go into we're gonna get like a Friends-like episode. I bet you.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know if it'll for sure be Friends, but like, yeah, they're going through the decades.
I still feel like your little nitpick. I don't get what your problem is.
I just think, like, just do one episode per
So
decade.
you thought they were going to do 4 episodes?
No, like I said, there's 7 decades.
Wait.
You got the
50s,
60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000, 2010s. That's 7 fucking decades.
Okay.
I mean, I thought it was 6 episodes. Like, I was thinking, like, why not just do 6 episodes? And then you got one per decade.
Mm.
And
And each one was supposed to be an hour, you said, Donnie.
What is that?
You said it before, it was supposed to be an hour.
Yeah, it was supposed
episode.
to be 6 episodes, 1 hour each. Now it's 9 at half an hour each.
I mean, I like that it's a half hour.
So they probably are going to go through the decades, John, but you're probably going to spend like 2 weeks in the 70s.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't like that.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Why does nothing please you? You want 7 wait a second. You just want 7 episodes. 7 decades. That's it.
1 decade each.
I mean, I didn't set up the fucking rules.
Why are you being so anal about it?
I'm just saying they did it. They said 50s, 60s, 70s. Now what am I supposed to do? Not go along with it? I mean, I'm not the one changing. They're changing.
Oh my god.
But I do like these 30 minutes. I think it makes sense because sitcoms are 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And if you're going through sitcoms, which it makes sense that if she's attempting to create, you know, a safe family with
Perfect.
him,
Yeah.
like it makes sense to be a sitcom nuclear family kind of thing.
Yeah. So we're gonna go through what nuclear families through the decade. It'll be like Roseanne.
She's gonna have those babies in the ER episode.
Oh god. Ours in a sitcom. Shut up. Well, neither was Miami Vice. Never mind.
I find Grey's Anatomy.
Scrubs.
She's gonna have that baby on Scrubs. Oh my god.
I mean, that could work.
No,
It
now,
could be Doogie
now,
Howser.
all of a sudden, John is like with some change.
No, like the Scrubs episode would be the 2000s.
It could be Doogie Howser. She would just have the babies earlier.
In the 80s.
That is the timing.
Why was she? Y'all got her pregnant for 40 goddamn years.
This is her own reality.
Yes.
Oh, God. All right.
She's probably not giving birth. She's probably like at the end of the next episode, she's gonna turn around and she's gonna have a fucking kid
Yeah.
who's like 7 years old.
She probably has that in her contract.
I mean, the fucking Brady Bunch. The fucking Brady Bunch.
That would be amazing.
It's the Brady Bunch.
That neighbor is going to be Alice.
She looks the part.
Am I racist, or does that black guy in the neighborhood watch look like Keenan?
He does.
No, you're racist.
No,
No, it's not racist if I say it. It's racist if you say it. It's racist if John agrees. It's racist if John agrees. John, does he look like...
I don't remember what that guy looks like.
That's racist too. How you don't remember the only black guy in the whole goddamn series so far?
I don't remember.
You don't remember the guy
like
in the
that
library? He's the one that slapped him on the back and I think made him swallow the gum. I think.
There's because Geraldine's there, and then you have this one black guy. Nina goes, "They better not be married because if they are, this race."
I did. I said to Tony, I said, "Is that her husband?" Because that's racist. If they just put the only two black people together.
I felt like he was an actor I recognized.
He looks like the live version of Cleveland.
Yes.
He looks like live action Cleveland.
Wow. Wow. I would like to apologize to Popeye Jones.
Did you pull up a picture of the guy, John?
I don't remember his name. I'm trying to find him.
I'm not on TV though. Herb. Herb is his name in the show.
Oh, David.
I know that name.
Let me look him up here.
What?
He doesn't look like Keenan Thompson. Oh, well, shit.
Of him
How
in
do
the
you
show.
spell his name?
What?
How do you spell his name?
David Payton.
Oh, Peyton. I looked at David Payne. It's like this fucking.
Here, I got it. I'm
Fucking Eli Manning looking motherfucker.
All right, look at the chat.
Wait, what?
He does not look like Kenan Thompson.
This is his character in the episode.
John just doesn't want to be racist, but that he does. In the episode, he absolutely...
That is more Cleveland-ish.
He does not look like... Y'all don't know what Kenan Thompson looks like.
Kenan's the one... Wait.
As a character in Saturday Night Live.
Wait, hold on. Kenan's the one on Saturday Night Live, right?
Yes.
Cal's the one that likes orange soda.
Huh?
Right?
And this dude does not look like either one of them.
No. Donnie, why'd you put this stupid picture? Get the picture from the episode. He looks just like...
That's a picture from... Hold on, I get...
No, it's not.
That's the picture from the Brady Bunch episode.
Yes, it absolutely is the 70s episode. You got a spoiler. This nigga got an afro.
I don't care what picture you show me.
No. And how do you not remember? Because John,
I remember him.
Now you remember him. He was in the library too.
I remember him. But I didn't remember like what he looked like.
He is absolutely the black male character in every SNL skit. Oh God.
I mean,
okay.
That sounds racist.
What? It's not my fault they got one black guy per season. Shit.
I'm just like, it does not look like Kenan Thompson.
Oh my God, it totally does. It's the character he would play. I'm telling you. All right,
yes,
so look.
It's the black character on the show.
Right, that's why they cast somebody who looks like Kenan, because Kenan plays the black guy in the skits.
You are insane.
Huh?
Shit.
Insane.
No, how do you not get, like, okay, look at the character of, what's her name? Agnes? What's her name? The lady next door.
Yeah, Agnes. That's
a certain character. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, her name's Agnes.
No, John, you are playing this. Look. Oh my God. Just the way Dottie. She's playing a certain type of character, right? The leader of the neighborhood, housewife clique, the head Stepford wife, the one everybody's trying to, that thing. Oh God, I don't know if Ian is listening to this. Ian, if you're listening to this, the book that you recommended about the suburban book club moms who like hunt a vampire or something like that, you know what I'm talking about. That character that everybody is afraid to disagree with. Huh?
It's an archetype, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I mean when I say that.
But what you're saying is that he's the black guy archetype. That's what you're saying.
Yes, because white people have made it that fucking way. Abso-fucking-lutely. The one black guy. Just like there's the one black guy or the first black person to die in a horror movie. We didn't do that shit. I'm saying that's why that exists. That's fucking Saturday Night Live just got in trouble for that shit a couple of years ago. Because it was like there can only be one black person or one, and then you got fucking Kenan in dresses playing black women when you could just hire black women. So why y'all acting like y'all don't know what I'm saying?
No, I know what you're saying now. Like, what you're saying is that David Payton is playing the only black guy character on the show, the way that Kenan Thompson would play the only black guy character in
right. And so for me, they made him look a certain way. Like the hair, the way his hair is cut, is when he plays those characters. When there's some fucking character that they got Kenan playing, and he's like the Bill Cosby dad, with the suspenders and the cardigan. I think the motherfucker might have been wearing a cardigan in one of the scenes in the WandaVision episode. That's what I mean. I feel like they made him look that way. Just the way they got Dottie looking like fucking, her name from Mad Men? The perfectly coiffed blonde hair with the flip on the end and the tiny way. Yes, that's what I mean. Like they made them. Emma Caulfield don't look like that.
But that's what I said. Yeah, but that guy does not look like Kenan Thompson.
In the show, he does, not in his fucking everyday life. In the episodes, they got him looking like they got Keenan looking.
I mean, like,
it's okay, John. I know you're not racist. I'm saying it.
no, I'm not saying it because I'm not racist. I'm saying it because he doesn't look like the motherfucker.
He does.
Like Paul
Like,
Bettany.
I don't know that I would, like, mistake him. Like, in a lineup, I'd be like, no, that motherfucker is definitely Keenan, and that's the motherfucker from WandaVision. But I'm saying...
You don't even remember his name.
Peyton. David Peyton. Thank you. Anyway, Joshua left some feedback. I want to read it because it's been a minute. Wait. Oh, shit, we got 3.
Very quickly, though, I know that Paul Bettany has said that he based some of his performance in these episodes on Hugh Laurie. And I would say, like, yeah, he does look reminiscent of a Hugh Laurie character, like in British comedy.
Yeah.
But he doesn't look like Hugh Laurie. So I understand what you're saying.
Okay. So Joshua said, it's been a minute since I left feedback. It's just laziness, but I'll blame 2020. I'm of two minds about this show. As a person that grew up on I Love Lucy, Bewitched, etc., I really like the feel of the show. I used to ask the same questions about those weird tropes of the husband's meaningless job and the misunderstood conversation, so this hit me in the nostalgia bone. But as a seasoned TV watcher, I feel like I'm waiting for a shoe to drop. It might be my problem of being not patient, but it doesn't feel like much happened. Yeah, definitely not. Especially if you're talking about in terms of moving the mystery underneath forward, not like basically the same thing happened in both episodes, right? So then he says, questions for y'all. Couldn't Wanda have whipped up a meal as easy as a new dress? Yeah, but it's sitcom. I think they can kind of get away with that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't like take that seriously because of what they're doing.
Yeah, it's got to be wacky.
Yeah.
Because if she ended up dead, she did just whip.
Yeah. Do you think the reason we keep hearing other voices on the radio or at the end of the show is because someone is trying to wake Wanda while she's incapacitated? That's what it sounds like, but it's weird that they're like, one is like, who's doing this to you? And then what is the voice on the radio saying? Like, I thought the voice in the radio...
It was saying her name.
Right.
There was a couple of messages, but I can't remember.
One, it was like, who's doing this to you, Wanda?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Like, what's going on? Like, that kind of stuff. Like, who is it?
And that's the guy from the Ant-Man movie. Yes. And that's at the end of that second episode? Because the end of the first episode
was the person at the cameras.
Yeah, the first episode was the person watching on, like, watching the show. You know, when the credits were rolling. And then there was a voice from the radio when she was talking to Dottie. And I heard them saying her name.
Twice in the second episode, there was voices coming through the radio.
And she saw the helicopter and stuff like that.
Right. The helicopter, which was in color. And the logo is sword. And I don't know much about this organization in the Marvel universe. Yeah. Sorry, I dropped something.
They're good guys. That's basically all I know.
Yeah, I think they're the replacement for S.H.I.E.L.D.
Because it feels really ominous if you don't know that they're good guys, right? So what's up with the beekeeper, though?
Yeah, I don't know shit about that. I didn't like... I was like, what the hell?
My assumption was the same person that was watching them, but it could be somebody else.
And there were actual bees, like, swarming around inside his helmet. Right?
Well, I missed that.
I thought.
It's you try to, like... It's almost like trying to interpret, like, your dreams.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what is this beekeeper saying about her actual life?
Yeah. Exactly.
And it's like, I don't, like, did she get stung?
Right.
What happened?
Yeah.
Is it like Ant-Man and the Wasp? Like that? Is there kind of some kind of connection there? I don't know.
Oh, the other thing the boss. When did the boss started choking because he was asking her a question and she wasn't answering and he kept asking over and over again, right?
Yeah, they
And
kept asking where you're from.
and then he started choking, and so presumably she was making that happen, because that's the way I took the scene, because he was pushing her. And in quote unquote real life, when I'm trying to remember how the scene played out, that I know the wife at first was like laughing, like, oh, stop it. Oh, stop it. And then it just kept going on, and it was super fucking creepy. And Vision wasn't doing anything, and he didn't help until Wanda told him to. So when all of that cutting back and forth, and with the woman saying stop it over and over again, and Wanda just staring, I thought in real life she's harming this person somehow, maybe psychically. And like, I'm wondering if he's like a doctor or something who is maybe trying to, whatever it is, what they're doing, talking to her, waking her up, whatever. That's how I saw that, but
Yeah. I don't know.
but that's the only other thing I remember, like, worth
You know,
noting. Or except when he started singing yakety yak, don't talk back.
to get the papers but the boss's wife.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all recognize that actress, right?
Yeah, she's that 70s show.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
are they gonna have that 70s show episode?
But in the 90s?
Yeah. That's how you get the 70s twice.
What? Oh, I was like, what is he talking about? Oh, sorry. I closed the feedback like we're done. Then he says, maybe the colorful helicopter Wanda found was part of a memory becoming clear. Yeah, I thought like a helicopter crashed and now she's in a coma. Ah, okay. I'm definitely thinking like some of these things we're seeing are things that happened in real life. That there's going to be a helicopter crash. Like, we're going to learn of a sword helicopter crash. Maybe her dreams act out in real life, so the sitcom actors are actually people, hospital staff around her being pulled in. Is the show too short? What do you mean? Like the episodes?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I just wish they were all out at the same time.
I agree. Marion Peanut B, I remember you. He says, hey guys, I'm excited for some new MCU material. I'm curious who or what created this reality. I'm not the biggest fans of the shows from the 60s, but I don't mind it, especially Vision singing that Don't Talk Back song. Can't wait for the next episode. Thanks for the podcast. So, listen, we could like just watch the next one and see what we think. I feel like it would have to be better than this to give me something substantial to want to talk about. The other thing, I mean, we can see. It may blow us away and then we'll be like, oh, we were wrong. But we're very rarely wrong. Well, at least I'm very rarely wrong.
I fucking love the Brady Bunch.
What? Oh, John, are you interested in doing American Gods?
Maybe.
Okay. What's today? Monday? I'm gonna try to watch that the first episode maybe by Wednesday and see what I think. Are you cool with that? Like checking it out?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, we're doing it either way, but I wanted to give you time to watch it to see if you wanted to join, because we're not gonna we don't have a lot going on. Okay, the final feedback is from Kimberly, who says, hello, I find myself surprised by how much I like the show. Oh, cool. Okay. I am happy that other people like it more than I do. Anyway, the Marvel-based jokes, the obvious ode to Bewitched, the cracks that keep appearing in Wanda's created fantasy land where Vision is still alive and they are happily together, the undercurrent of sadness. Yeah, that sucks. I did feel that, and it does suck. We know the fantasy.
Yeah, it feels very creepy.
It does. It really does. Especially like there's the thing with the that we just talked about with the choking and where he's just kind of sitting there. Like, I know he's not there. I know he's dead. And so I mean, like, you know, how do her power, like, how powerful are her powers? Like, is this really him that she created? And so to fix whatever this is kind of like with Wonder Woman, will she then have to like let him go again? Because it did feel like we're watching something in which someone isn't in control of their own body.
Mm-hmm.
And so when she was like, Vision, help him. And then he was like, right. And he stood up. Before that, like, did he say her name before that? He was saying her name, right? I feel like the wife was saying, stop it. The man was choking. It felt like it kept cutting to everybody. And I thought there was something else going on. Now I'm wondering if it was just him saying her name. And that's what was giving me the impression that she was doing it. Yes, I'm positive no, watch me be wrong. No, I'm almost positive that's how that scene played out.
That makes sense.
That Vision was like, Wanda. And the way he was saying it, he felt more like the Vision we know than this fake sitcom husband. And then when she said, help him. And I remember thinking I expected her to do something and the man would stop choking, but she told him to help and he got up. And it felt like he wasn't in control. Like, he can't do things that she doesn't allow him to do, which I guess would make sense what we see at the end of the second episode, right? That she can literally.
To me, it came up like my thought on that whole scene was that it was more about him using his powers in public, that somebody else would see him using his powers.
Oh, that makes way more sense. I'm so high. Never mind. I overthought it, I guess. But that's silly because she could have just did that. She could have just flicked the fucking chicken nugget or whatever the fuck that was.
Yeah, it's weird. The strangest part of the whole conceit of the show is that we're sitting here going, oh, Wanda created this whole universe.
Mm-hmm.
Or, maybe she didn't,
Mm-hmm.
But, like, if she did, it doesn't feel like she knows that.
Right. Yes.
It
yes.
feels like she, like, if she did, it was like a traumatic moment that forced her into this.
Right,
like,
because
now
when
she's having to relearn it or something.
Because when she did the rewind, at first it felt not sinister, but purposeful. Like, no, like she knew what she was about to do. But when it rewound and she's like back in the living room, she looked a little surprised that she was like, like a Groundhog Day moment where like, you're just like, this feels weird. But then Vision was like talking to her. And so she goes right back into the scene as we saw it before, except now there's no distraction with the guy outside. You see what I mean? So at first it played like she purposely did it, but then she looked confused that it happened as well. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's like she knows she has powers because she's using it within this universe.
Right.
But it's like she doesn't know that she can control this universe.
Right, like control the people and all of that. Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, I don't think she intentionally rewound time.
Yeah. It's just that force of like her, whatever he represented was a threat to this that she created.
I mean, listen.
That's how I took it anyway.
I'd be the same way. I'd be like, oh no, bees. Is this my girl?
You're like, why did it have to be bees?
Not the bees, no. Nicolas Cage. That's another thing I've watched. The history of swear words on Netflix.
We started watching that and Donnie's like, this is stupid. And he turned it off.
It's not great, but like I really enjoy Nicolas Cage on it.
He's
going on the history of different. Each episode is he's just narrating.
Oh, it's him. Okay, yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know, like, I was not paying that much attention. I just know it was on for a bit, that first episode, and then Donnie turned it off.
But I turned on Big Mouth, which is by far so much better.
Oh, yeah, I need to start that. I keep saying. Okay, I'm sorry. So then she says, we know the fantasy cannot last, and I'm interested in the journey the show is taking us on to get the inevitable breakdown. P.S. Nico is the cutest little thing. All the pictures are awesome. Thank you. He really is. And now we have to, speaking of which, we have to end this because he has to go out for the last time tonight. It's like 10:30. Is he down there with you, Donnie?
Not yet.
Okay. Tell her when she takes him out, I want to see him before he goes to bed. Or before she takes him out. Either one. Both. Yeah. I want to see both. I want to bring me my dog. Tell her bring me my baby.
Take him out. Shit.
No, I have my nightgown on. I'm not dressed.
I'm not dressed.
I guess I could put my robe on. Anyway, this is still the podcast. Thank you guys for listening. We're going to be, before we get to American Gods, you'll have this and the next episode of Ajin. And, yeah, we'll check out the next episode of WandaVision and see what the deal is. But we like it. Please don't come away from, I think, the fact that we continued to talk about it after I thought we would not talk about it that much. I like it. I just want to be really clear. I do think part of it was like the whole, I wanted to love it and I didn't, but that's not the show's fault.
Yeah,
I'm responsible for my own. I wanted to love it based just on the fact that, times have been hard and I want to love a lot of shit, That's not the show's fault. I don't feel tricked from the trailers or anything like that. So.
Yeah, I think the show is great. I'm just like, I know we just spent like an hour talking about it, but there isn't really much to talk about.
Right. A lot of that was me being high and going off on tangents, so. Now I'm doing ASMR. No, I don't know how that sounded. I'm sorry if that hurt your ears. Okay, good night.